Three, two.
Yay, we're here. I don't know.
Yay, we're here.
We're here.
Hey, this is our last quarantine edition.
This is our very last of quarantine is not quite over.
Well, it ends kind of in Minnesota on Monday.
You're right. We kind of stay at home is finishing for us.
Yep.
So, I mean, we will probably continue to
We beat
stay
it.
at home.
Everyone go crazy.
No.
Take off your masks, leave the home, get in a huge group. I recommend all neighborhoods gathering at least 100 or more and just celebrating their pants off about the end of quarantine. This is a great idea.
Something tells me we're going to have a quarantine part 2 very shortly. Very shortly.
Well, since this is our last one, I feel like we have probably a lot of corrections over the last 4 episodes. I don't know about you, but I've been listening to our last 4 episodes, and as we talk, I'm like, gosh, that's so wrong. Nope, that was wrong too. There's so many things. So I feel like we probably have a lot of things to correct. I'm going to start off by saying I'm sorry to my friend Paul, who I kept saying Tom Hanks won an Oscar for Philadelphia Story. It was Philadelphia, not Philadelphia
Different
Story.
Movie entirely.
Yes.
Yep.
That's my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you are looking for a podcast where they don't get things wrong and they do a good job.
Ooh, good plug.
Yeah, you should check out Fat Dude Digs Flicks. My buddy Andy Heller does that podcast. He is an actual movie know-how. He knows a ton about movies. And
Well-researched.
Yep. He won't mess things up all the time, but I mean that's the charm of our podcast.
There's charm.
We're just a couple of schmoes who watch movies and then talk off the cuff.
Yeah.
So if you want a well-researched, well-done podcast, he's your choice. Fat Dude Digs Flicks. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Hey, we watched a couple movies in the last 24 hours. Well, I watched a couple.
We
You
did.
did not.
You've been a movie fiend.
Yeah,
like,
we've talked about a lot of
It's crazy.
them.
Every night there's like a new movie. You're checking off some imaginary list.
I've watched a lot of bad movies though, Rach.
It's true.
There's a lot of movies that now I'm going back and watching from when I was younger that I'm like, God, this was trash.
Yeah.
Just trash.
I'll be honest. Like
Dick Tracy, don't watch it. It's horrible. Well, it's fun, but it's bad. It's bad.
You'll bring up movies and I'll think, why is that on your list? Like last night you watched the movie Slackers.
I had never seen it.
Slackers? Why? I know, but like
Devon Sawa?
Don't you just need to? Can't you just assume that if you didn't hear about it, it's not worth your time?
I should have trusted the 10% it got on Rotten Tomatoes, but I did not.
You looked at that before, and
I did.
Went through it.
It was like one of those teen movies that came out like after Can't Hardly Wait, American Pie. I
was a
thought
lot of
I missed this
movies
one. I should check it out.
No.
Somebody had a poster of it, like a big movie poster that they hung in their room. I don't remember who it was. Maybe somebody in college. But I just remember thinking like, I don't know that movie. Well, now I do know that movie.
Now you do. Are you
Not
happy?
good. It's horrible.
Yeah. I thought so.
God awful. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
We also watched Rebel Without a Cause. Do you have anything you'd like to say about Rebel Without a Cause, Rach?
I guess a couple of things. You're just gonna leave me out to dry with that intro. I mean, I'm quickly becoming the queen of hot takes here on Summers Off.
I call everything horrible or amazing, and so you got to go by extremes.
Although I'll be honest, so last week we did Goonies, and I don't know if I got as much heat as I thought I was going to.
Yeah, a lot of people contacted me and were like, I don't agree with Rach, but I understand. There was a lot of understanding, and I thought, no, don't understand her. She is wrong. Let's get mad at her.
I also heard a lot of like silence from others too, so that also might be. I might have just been like written off.
Yeah,
which is possible.
Well, let's talk about Rebel Without a Cause. We're gonna get to Goonies.
Yeah,
I know you have some rebuttals that you would like to.
So
fire out.
What I'll say is I didn't really know anything about Rebel Without a Cause until going into it. I mean, I knew James Dean was in it. It was like one of his only films. He's got a few other ones, but this was one of the last ones. The big one. I forgot that Natalie Wood was in it, so I was pleasantly surprised to see her face.
Yeah.
I knew there was something with cars because he's leaning on a car, looking very cool.
Sure.
Yeah, what I'll say is I think you have to take the movie like at its time period.
Oh, I don't know.
It's odd. It's an odd movie. There's a lot of weird I think the writing's weird at times.
Writing's horrible.
and the
Let me just
acting
be
is
more
at
blunt.
times-
The writing is
Hey,
god awful.
Would you like me to share my? I think
Sure.
you threw me into the deep end. You want to know
Okay.
my opinion first, and then I'll give you a shot.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Sure.
Just chomping at the bit here. Hot take time. But yeah, I think there's something about the time period of when this came out that I could see why there would be so much around this film. I mean, it's one of his few films, so there's
Sure.
always a little bit of lore about that,
Mhm.
right? And yeah, I mean, it was different than movies around that time, but boy, I just think some of it is real goofy. We would look at each other and be like, "Wait, what?
What's going
happening?
on?
Wait, why are I don't know."
Yeah.
And like James Dean, I think in photographs, like he's so attractive. Oh my goodness, like that's easy. Like that is not a hot take. I think many people would say like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, for sure.
And in this movie, he's a bit quirkier than you think he's gonna be, based on like the pictures and like the few clips that I've seen of it. So, and I don't hate like him being like nerdier than I thought he was gonna be,
No,
because
I
to me
don't
that's
either.
an attractive quality. But I was a little surprised by it. He's like real goofy at times in this.
He is not the heartthrob you think he is. I thought he was Danny Zuko off of Grease. Like, I thought he was a cool kid, and he is not. He's a weirdo.
He's not the cool kid. He's the outsider in this, but like in a nerdy kind of like, hey, you want to be my friend way? Like not in a cool outsider way.
For sure. Yep. I think it's not a good movie. I think James Dean is interesting to watch in it, and Natalie Wood's interesting too, but I want to say neither one of them are necessarily great. I just think they're interesting and kind of weird.
Yeah.
But that movie's freaking weird. I was not a fan. I thought, why do people make a big deal out of this movie? This movie is bad. So Hot Take Central.
Hot take.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean it's in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, ridiculous score. Goonies, way better. Go check Goonies out.
Well,
Here, this is a good segue.
no.
Rach, what do you think is better between Rebel Without a Cause and Goonies?
I think Goonies
Ha-ha!
is, but I don't think Rebel Without a Cause is as bad as you think it is, just given the context of everything.
I would give Rebel Without a Cause a 45% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. I would be a little bit higher. I'd probably be in the 50s, like a high 50.
But still be rotten?
I think so.
Okay.
For me, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
90%, that's crazy sauce.
That's crazy.
You guys should all be ashamed
That's
of
just
yourselves. Rach, let's talk more Goonies. So I wanted to pull up, you had mentioned at one point, I think Matilda probably did better. You are correct. Matilda on Rotten Tomatoes has a 90% compared to Goonies 75%.
Ooh, take that, everybody.
But here's what I'll say
that.
as a rebuttal. We just talked about this.
Wait.
Rebel Without a Cause also has 90%.
Oh, shoot. You're gonna throw that in my face.
So take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
It's at the same spot. You have some other things you wanted to bring up about Goonies after we got off the microphone. You were like, "Oh, I forgot to mention this. Oh my
Yeah.
god!" And then there's this.
Okay, yeah, two things. I mean, I think one I kind of hit in the ground, so I don't really need to talk about it. But the one thing that I thought was real silly. So during the wishing well scene, all of the Goonies are below ground, and they're like, "Oh, we're here. We're at a wishing well," because there's coins everywhere. And they look up and they see the three jocks from earlier, and these jocks, these most popular guys of school,
In
the
Astoria,
athletes,
Oregon, it's a different place.
Well,
Oregon's crazy
they're
place.
just hanging around this wishing well in the middle of the night. I just think it's the weirdest thing. Like, these guys are supposed to be really cool, and we're throwing coins and fountains, and it just is like, what? It's one thing to hang out somewhere random, you know. I get like most people and during these films would like go up to like the point or something and just like look out on the town. Like, that to me, that's cool hanging out.
Yep.
Hanging around a wishing well is not cool, bro.
So, okay, here, let me throw this out there, though. So, in Sioux City, you would go to the Pavilion, to Floyd Monument. Wouldn't you ever go to these places? The Water Tower? Like, if you were going to, like, meet up with somebody, weren't those possible landmarks that you'd be like, hey, tonight, if you want to hang out after this, I wouldn't go to Floyd's Monument.
Yeah.
We did in South Sioux,
that?
and those weren't even our landmarks.
Wow, that's weird. We would go like hey, let's meet up at Taco Bell.
Oh,
like
that
would
happened
be
too, yeah.
that would be more of like a meetup spot. Like, let's go to Taco Bell and sit in the parking lot.
See, and I know in Mankato,
And loiter.
there's like one of the parks that's really nice. That's a big hot spot. The kids will say like, hey, let's go get food, and then we'll meet at this park.
Oh,
and they'll
okay.
go meet up there, and they'll just hang out at this park.
The kids do that?
The undergrads do that sometimes.
Oh,
So
the kids.
I think you can just assume that maybe this is like a fountain, or this wishing well is a big deal in this town.
Okay. I stand corrected. Excuse me, Troy. Is it Troy?
Yeah, Troy's bucket.
Andy! You Goonie!
We watched a little Goonies flashback or whatever recently where the whole cast got together, hosted by Josh Gad.
It was the funniest thing. Like the next day on, I don't know what you were watching it on. Was it YouTube or something? But yeah, they had done like a reunion and everybody, Steven Spielberg was there. Everyone was there on this like video chat. And Josh Gad is just like fawning over himself. He's like, this is the best movie of our generation. And I'm sitting there like, oh, Josh Gad. Like, oh, this is not working well for me.
Yep. But what's fun is they go into a lot of the stories that we tell, and they tell them with more details and things. Like the kids mentioned when they met him in Hawaii that they were like hiding in his bed and things like that. And I was like, oh gosh, I'd never read about that. So there's some fun stuff that's in there. Go check that out. Well, we decided to do something completely different today.
Yes, as kind of the button to our special quarantine edition, we are not only going to review an hour and a half of a film. We're gonna. I can't do the math.
Oh, dude, it's probably like
freaked out.
40 hours at least of
We're
TV.
gonna review a season, a whole series, not a season.
Yeah.
5 seasons. 5 seasons?
5 seasons.
Of the
5 seasons.
5 seasons. Gosh.
Gosh, it's taking me a long time to figure
we better
out.
start over. This is not starting well. 5 seasons of a beloved TV show, Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights. Hopefully you've seen it. We will talk a lot about general stuff. I don't think there's a ton of spoilers in my format that I did, but we might get into it. So I will just warn you, if it's something that you are considering watching in the near future, I would not listen to this episode all the way through.
Yeah.
I would be very careful in how you approach it.
Yeah.
But I think that, I don't know. We'll get into the TV show talk towards the end, but this show's so freaking good. Can you give us a little rundown if we've never even heard of Friday Night Lights? What could we expect if we were going to indulge ourselves in this experience?
Oh boy. Okay. Without like being recklessly abandoned and like jumping through the whole show. Essentially, we're in small town Texas. We're in Dillon, Texas, which is probably close to, we're gonna look this up maybe, is it Dallas?
It is
Outside of Dallas,
a
maybe?
suburb of Austin is what when I did research, they were like, it's kind of like Austin.
Okay.
That's where it was filmed anyway, so I think a lot of people assume that.
And we follow this town around their football team, their high school football team, and specifically the head coach and his family. And then we get into all of the different players' lives and just what they're going through. So there's a lot of like typical high school drama. And then also they throw in some atypical high school drama as the series goes on. But what's great is that, one, some of these kids stay around forever.
Some of these kids you're pretty sure are juniors, and then like in the first season, and then you're like, wait, they were supposed to be freshmen?
Yeah.
There's some of it that's kind of ridiculous.
There's a little bit of that, which is always true. Anytime you're going to have like a high school TV show, you're like, oh, we're a hit. Okay, you guys are sophomores now.
Yep.
We were really vague about it in the last
For
season in
sure.
case you get picked up.
And the character named Riggins, who's probably like your most recognizable face.
Tim Riggins.
He is somebody who I think it's the most atrocious thing that they did, because they're like, at the beginning of the show, they're like, Riggins, you're one of the toughest kids in the whole state. You find out he was a sophomore and he's around through season 3 playing football, and you're like, wait, what? There's no way.
Yeah. So it's lovely. It's a lovely TV show. It's one of my new faves. I gotta tell you, I loved it. Had a great time.
High recommendations. There will be no dissent from the Hudson family. None of you guys are going to be able to drive us apart on this one. Friday Night Lights is fantastic.
Well, without getting into it, what I'll say is it's not without its faults.
Sure.
There are a couple of storylines that are real doozies that need to just like be plucked and thrown away.
We will get into those in a very vague way where I'll tell you some
Try to be
backstory and we'll
Okay.
kind of talk a little bit about those storylines.
Those
And if you're
stories.
like, well, I've seen the show and I can't think of what storyline it is, I would just challenge you to think a little harder because there's one storyline in particular that sticks out above all the rest. So if you can't think of what it is, do a quick Google search of worst Friday Night Lights storyline and it will instantly pop up.
I'm sure.
So this TV show was based off of a book
Okay.
that was written in the 80s. And the book was by a guy named Buzz Bissinger. Buzz Bissinger? What a great name.
Wow.
Yep. He sounds like he played football in Texas.
He does.
Yo, Buzz Bissinger.
Buzz. Hey, Buzz.
And the book was called Friday Night Lights, A Team, a Town, a Dream.
A dream.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was about, they were the Panthers in this book.
Okay.
But they weren't the Dillon Panthers. They were the Permian Panthers out of Odessa, Texas.
Yeah, I like the
Odessa.
alliteration of that. The
Yep.
Permian Panthers.
This was not a real team, but Odessa is a real place.
Yeah.
And Odessa, I think, is what they use in the movie as well. Speaking of the movie, let's talk about it. Came out in 2004. Do you remember it very well?
Vaguely. I know
Okay.
I've seen it.
Yep.
We got Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy
in
Bob
it.
Thornton plays
Yeah.
the coach.
Is Tim McGraw in it?
Yes, he is. I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah.
He plays like an asshole dad
Yeah,
to
he's
like
like
the
a
Tim
drunkard.
Riggins type character.
Yeah. I remember him, and that's it. That's all I
And
remember.
then Connie Britton's in it.
Oh, she is.
She plays his wife.
Is she coach wife?
She is. And dude,
Oh.
she gets like 10 lines tops.
Oh, really?
It's the most sad depiction of Coach's wife ever.
That's atrocious
Yep.
because and just unfair because she is phenomenal in this.
Mhm.
I love Coach and Coach's wife in this. They are my top favorite characters in this
Yes.
series.
Kyle Chandler and Connie Britton absolutely kill it
Mhm.
in so many ways. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So I don't know if you remember this about the movie. Well, we're going to get into spoilers about the movie. If you care about the movie or you haven't seen it, then
Just flip
stop
ahead
it.
like
Yeah.
2 minutes.
But dude, the movie, so it ends in heartbreak, right?
Mhm.
Like they're in the state championship. They've come back from a star player getting injured and he's never going to play again because he's ripped his ACL and then he hurts it again. They're pretty sure he's never going to play football ever again. His name's Boogie Miles.
His name's
Boob-
Booby?
It's either Booby Miles, Booty Miles, which I don't think it is, or Boogie Miles.
Are you sure it's
I
not
think it's Boogie.
Bubba?
Nope.
That's more of a common
It's not Bubba Miles.
Southern name. Booby?
I think it's Boogie.
Oh my gosh.
Boogie Miles.
Buzz and
But anyways,
Boogie Miles.
star
yeah.
running back gets
Okay.
hurt. Then they have to like overcome adversity because they've built the whole team around him.
Yep.
And then they just barely lose in the championship game.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how the whole movie kind of centers around.
Mhm.
So thinking about how that kind of influences the series, we won't tell you whether they win or lose, but there's a lot of things that they took from that. But let me tell you,
So hold on, time out, just
Yep.
for my timeline. So the movie came out right before the series?
the series starts in 2006.
Okay.
The movie came out in 2004.
Okay. Gotcha.
The movie is not anywhere close to as charming as the TV show. I just
Oh,
recently
I'm
watched it.
sure.
And granted, I'm probably biased because Friday Night Lights is one of my favorite TV shows ever, if not my favorite TV show of all time.
100%.
And I think the movie is 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not. It was actually 81%, but it's like mediocre, right on the line of like decent.
Gotcha.
I don't think any of the characters are interesting. Like all the football players and stuff, and
Well,
Connie's not a big deal, and oh my gosh, I should have just showed you a clip. I'm gonna play it. There's a clip of Billy Bob Thornton giving a speech, and then I'm gonna pull a clip of Kyle Chandler giving a speech, and we can just compare and contrast.
Just let the speeches speak for themselves.
Being perfect is about being able to look your friends in the eye and know that you didn't let them down because you told them the truth. And that truth is that you did everything that you could. There wasn't one more thing that you could have done. Can you live in that moment as best you can with clear eyes and love in your heart, with joy in your heart.
40,000 people out there have also written us off. There are a few out there who do still believe in you. Few never give up on you. You go back out on the field, those are the people I want in your minds. Those are the people I want in your hearts. Every man at some point in his life is going to lose a battle. He's going to fight and he's going to lose. But what makes him a man is that in the midst of that battle, he does not lose himself. This game is not over. This battle is not over. So let's hear it one more time. Together. Clear eyes, full hearts.
Let's go!
I just think Kyle Chandler is infinitely more charming than Billy Bob Thornton.
I mean, easier on the eyes for sure. Kyle Chandler quickly jumped up from obscure, I'm not really sure who that is, to he's in my top 5.
Of hottest guys ever?
Yes.
Nice. Would you like to divulge
100%.
any other people in your top 5?
Nope.
Okay. It's a little surprise.
Paul Rudd, he's in there. You know, I just wait long enough, I will. Yeah, he's up there. He's up there.
Oh, dude, and he's so charming in the show. Like I totally understand why he would be up there. He's just awesome. So NBC, they tried after the book came out. They tried to make this into a TV show long before even the movie came out.
Oh, okay.
But they had problems with the rights. The movie rights had already been purchased. And so they had to wait until a movie came out before they could make a TV show about it. And so NBC decided, because the book was a pretty big deal, especially in the South with football communities, and they were like, okay, we've got this other idea, and we're going to do this rip-off TV show called Against the Grain. And it stars as its top quarterback a famous star from the 90s. Do you want to take a guess who it would be?
I do not. I weren't ready for that.
Okay. He played Batman.
George Clooney.
No, not a terrible guess, though.
Great Batman.
Oh my gosh. Horrible Batman. No. Ben Affleck.
Oh gosh, I was never gonna guess Ben
young-
Affleck. I
yeah.
forgot that he played.
Everybody forgets he plays Batman. It's so
forgot.
forgettable.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck plays QB1 in this
Okay.
TV show. A
Okay.
very young Ben Affleck. And it was really, really bad. Did horrible. It only lasted 8 episodes. But they did do it on Friday nights, just like Friday Night Lights.
Oh.
So that was kind of like a cool new thing.
Yeah. What I'll say is though, depending on what time of year this came out, your audience.
fall.
Yeah.
Football season.
So what do you think that people are doing on Friday nights? Who would watch this football show? But people at football games. But
Yeah.
like that.
That's always been the problem with the
Yeah.
with
That
the
to
idea.
me is an issue right there. A real easy issue to fix.
You know what else is another issue? What were you watching on Friday nights back in the 90s?
Oh, TGI Fridays.
TGI Fridays, baby.
Yes.
Step by Step, Full House,
Sabrina.
Family Matters. There's so many. I don't know if some of those.
Boy
were on
Meets
there. Boy Meets World.
World.
There were so many dinosaurs,
Was that on Friday?
I don't
TGI
think so. I
Friday?
don't
I
know.
don't think so.
but you had so many great shows.
Oh,
You weren't
TGI
gonna watch this
Fridays.
stupid Ben Affleck football show that was
No.
not good.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nopers.
So that was a fail, I think, in a lot of different accounts.
For sure.
Do you have other favorite movies or TV shows about football?
I love Remember the Titans.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's probably. I'm just scanning my brain. I think that's probably my favorite football movie.
Yeah. Little Giants.
That's fun. I like Little Giants. I don't know if it stands the test of time. There's probably a couple of R words in there that
What
I'll
ab-
be upset about.
What about Air Bud 2, Golden Retriever instead of Receiver?
You know.
Or Golden Receiver. Maybe that is what it is. Dang
I'm
it.
sure that's what it was. Yeah, so I don't think I've ever seen that one.
You haven't seen Air Bud 2?
No.
I haven't either. I've only seen Air Bud 1. Which, Air Bud 1? Terrific.
Excellent movie. Prime.
One of the best basketball movies.
all time.
It's probably like Hoosiers, Teen Wolf, Air Bud. Coach Carter. I should have Coach Carter in there too. So, the guy Peter Berg, who was the main producer on the film, I think on the film and the TV show, he was doing his research for the TV show. This was after the movie. He was at a game in San Antonio, and there's this 15-year-old defensive back. His name was David Edwards. He collides. This was 2003. He collides with a wide receiver on a play.
Oh, no.
And he breaks his neck,
Oh.
and he becomes a paraplegic.
Oh,
and he
so
was there at the
heartbreaking.
game when it happened.
Oh my gosh.
And so after this happened, I don't know, it's one of those weird things. It's like in a way you're honoring him, but the way you're also profiting off of his like serious calamity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's super powerful.
I mean, yeah.
And that's where he got his idea for one of his main characters in Friday Night Lights named Jason Street. Tell us about Jason Street.
Oh,
Rach.
Jason Street, like good All-American QB1, gonna go pro likely. He's probably, bound to get drafted right out of college once he gets there, but has all these offers. And he's a senior, and I don't remember. It happens pretty early on in the season, doesn't it?
It's the first episode.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the very first episode. Pilot. Sorry if we spoiled the pilot for you.
Yeah, well, that's a pilot, so you got to get through that. Oh, yeah, it's just sad just because, you know what trajectory like his life is going, and then it just everything around him starts to crumble. And I think that's like one of like the biggest like pieces for me that pulled me in, like, whoa, this show is gonna get gritty.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I love. I love a good gritty show.
And the guy who played Jason Street, he never met the kid who got paralyzed, David Edwards, but he did meet with his dad to talk to him about
did
it.
he?
So there was connections with the show and the
Sure.
family, and so that makes me feel a little bit better about the whole situation.
Yeah.
But super powerful stuff, like you said.
Oh man.
That whole pilot episode. Just watch the pilot. If the pilot doesn't get you, then fair enough, but I think you're crazy.
I think you're wrong, but give it a shot.
Yeah. Let's talk about your main squeeze, the love of
Who's
your
my main
life,
squeeze?
sexiest of sex appeals, Mr. Kyle Chandler.
Oh, okay. I was
And
like, where are we going?
when he got cast in this TV show. So he meets Peter Berg, the executive producer, and he has a huge hangover. Because the night before, he doesn't remember. He said it was either his birthday or somebody else's birthday or some birthday party that he was at, but he can't remember when.
Oh, no.
And he said he smoked 10 cigars, which, by the way, he loves cigars. Does that throw anything off for you?
I mean, I'll forgive a lot.
Michael Jordan also loves cigars. We're watching The Last Dance, and he's smoking cigars all the time.
I know. It's incredible what an athlete he can be. Just like pound those cigars. It's like,
sure.
Oh, gosh, okay.
So he smoked like 10 cigars, got super drunk, and then he came in. He said he hadn't showered or shaved in days. So he was super scruffy looking. He said he kind of stunk. And he met with Peter Berg.
Gosh.
And Berg goes, this guy's perfect. He like seems like gritty, even though he has a clean cut like look in the show.
Yeah.
He always is clean shaved and stuff. But he thought that like gritty mentality and everything with him. He was like, oh, this guy's awesome. I love actually his unkempt look. I think it's perfect.
Yeah. He's very real is what I would say. I mean, and he, as an actor, I think he lives in Texas too, or has like a big ranch there. So he definitely, I think, gets that vibe, right? That like South coach, but we want him to be attractive because he's gonna be married to Connie Britton, so we're kind of like your chubby coach.
Do you remember him from anything else? Not stuff afterwards, because I know he does like Super 8 after this. and
Yeah,
kinds of
no,
fun stuff.
not really.
He was in King Kong.
Okay, yes,
He plays like the
that's
movie
right.
star guy.
Yeah, but that would have been after this.
No, I think it was 2005. I think it was right
Oh,
before
really?
this. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yep.
would not have placed that in my brain that way. Okay.
Before this, he also did something else. He was in Grey's Anatomy for like 2 seasons as a
Oh.
recurring character. Do you remember him at all?
No, he might have been in the later seasons. I
Okay.
watched pretty early on.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I think I would have remembered him, but there's a lot of attractive doctors too, so it's hard to say.
Ooh, this is
Hard
a
to
good
say.
little debate. McDreamy or McSteamy, Rach?
Oh, I was all about McDreamy.
You were.
Yes.
Of course you were.
You would have been too if you would have watched
I
it.
was. You know I was. I did watch like almost all the whole first season.
You're definitely McDreamy.
He was also in a show called Homefront, which went on for a few seasons. And it was about like
Oh.
these military guys from World War II coming back, but it took place in the 90s. He's kind of a baby face in it.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have showed you a picture of it. A really young Kyle
Yes.
Chandler. That was
yes.
from that.
Okay.
Yep. So that was like a TV show that he did before this. but he does not like football that much.
What?
Yeah, he doesn't really like football. Said he never played it, doesn't really care for it, he doesn't really watch it.
Wait, this is crazy to me.
But to study,
What?
he read Bill Belichick's book. What team does Bill Belichick play for, Rach?
Play for?
Or coach for?
Ha! Caught you. Patriots?
Yes, good
Yes,
job.
Patriots coach, very Republican.
Very
Big old
Republican.
Trump supporter.
Him, Brady, Kraft, all the guys.
Yeah.
Yep. But he read that book to get into character.
Okay.
So that helped him kind of decide how he wants to take the character.
Mm-hmm.
Connie Britton. Do you remember her from anything? Or explain Connie Britton to us, and then tell us if you remember her from anything too.
Connie Britton. I mean, she's been around. She was probably the most famous person I knew going into this.
Okay, gotcha.
I would think. I mean, it's hard because the only thing I remember her from was after this specifically, which was that TV show Nashville. That was probably like 2 or 3 seasons.
With Hayden Panettiere.
Yes.
Dueling country artists.
Yeah, she's funny. Like she always, not Hayden, but wait, who were we talking
Connie.
about? Connie. Connie always looks the same. I feel like she always has like about that length of hair.
Mm-hmm.
Always kind of like that kind of reddish orange, almost orangey blonde
Yep,
hair, strawberry blonde, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of freckles. I don't know. She's in so much that I feel like it would be hard to like pick something that she's most known for.
Dude, well, explain who she is as a character for us.
Oh,
too.
yeah. She is the coach's wife, and she is also, I don't know why I said that first. Oh, man. She's the school counselor at the high school, which
Yeah.
is really awesome.
Well, she starts as the coach's wife, as
Oh,
stay-at-home
that's true.
mom.
That's true.
And
She
no,
just started
this isn't a big spoiler, but then she gets involved in
She
the
gets
community and the
involved.
school and becomes their awesome character.
Yes, and that's, I really love too, because then you get to see the other side of it with the
Mhm.
students in school, how they're doing with their grades, how their families are doing. Like, so it feels like just like very natural that we get to see all of that, what happens on the football field and what happens at school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she goes on to be a principal at some point. I won't say any more about this, but yeah, she's like holding her own too. They're like a dream couple,
For
like
sure.
a power couple.
The head football coach and then eventually the principal.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that our dream?
I guess I didn't think it was.
Hey y'all! Hey y'all! Hey y'all! Hey y'all! Great to see you this year. Hey, everyone's gonna be. Hi y'all! Hey y'all! Hi y'all! Hey y'all! Hi y'all! Hi y'all!
Dude, she was the TV show queen in the 90s. She was on so many popular shows and with multiple season runs. She was in Spin City.
Oh yeah.
She was in the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Okay.
She was in The Fugitive, which was like the movie
off of
became
the
a TV
yep.
show. And then she had multiple season runs in West Wing and 24.
Oh, okay.
So she
Ooh,
was
I want to get into
around
West Wing now.
a lot.
Gotcha.
We already mentioned that she played the wife in the movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Billy Bob Thornton, he annoys me, by the way. I'm not a Billy Bob Thornton fan.
I can just tell by how you said his name.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Thornton.
Oh, God.
I think he's a good actor. Does he play the same-ish character?
For sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And do I usually like that character? Nope.
Yeah.
But he
There
plays
you
it.
go.
He plays it well.
Yeah.
He plays it
for
well.
sure. He plays a character I don't really care for. That is pretty much himself
He's
all the time.
usually a bad
Yes.
character, bad guy. Yeah.
So Billy Bob gives her a lot of crap for taking this role in the TV show because he's like, "Oh, you've playing the same damn character for 7 years or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, Billy Bob, she's actually doing good work, and you're trash." Sorry. Hot take.
Whoa. A little
So,
emotional here.
Yeah, I just not cool, not fair.
Yeah.
But when she first got offered the role, they said, "We really want you to play the coach's wife again." And she had wanted nothing to do with it. Because in the movie, her part is boring.
Mm-hmm.
She has one scene where she gets to, like, talk to Billy Bob and, like,
Mm-hmm.
try to convince him about something. But it's like, she has 15, maybe, I'll give her 20 lines tops. It's insane.
Yeah.
So she said, if you think that I want to spend, here's her exact quote, "Do you think I want to spend 10 years of my life sitting on a hardwood bleacher getting splinters into my ass cheering on Kyle Chandler? You are out of your mind." But the producers, they promised, you're going to have an actual character. It's going to be centered around you as well.
Yeah.
I promise it's not the same thing. So that's how they convinced her.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I got a little confused at that because you said Friday Night Lights. I didn't know if you were talking about the movie that she wasn't sure about accepting or the TV show that she
TV
was.
show.
Oh, okay. Did Billy Bob give her crap about accepting the TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought he was giving her crap about the movie.
Oh,
Accepting the
no.
movie. I was like, oh, that's weird.
No.
Oh. Yeah.
TV show.
Got it.
You said you've been playing that same character for 7 years.
Yeah.
Got
Got it.
So when they got cast, Kyle Chandler and Connie Britton, they decided, they both lived in L.A., and they decided they were going to drive to Austin where they're going to do most of the filming at. And
Together?
Together.
Oh.
The two of them.
I mean, I know they're both married, but like,
No,
oh.
Connie was not married. Connie is, I don't know if she's still not married, but she wasn't married throughout the whole run of the show.
Oh, okay.
Kyle Chandler, though, is married.
He is married.
And when they were coming up with this idea to drive together, Peter Berg, the executive producer, was like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Oh.
Because he thought they had amazing chemistry. They had a very flirtatious relationship.
Sure.
And they kind of did throughout the entire run of the show. But then they had like this wonderful connection that he just thought, oh my gosh, they are going to start this crazy fling affair before we've even started shooting. And he was quoted in interviews. He's like, by the time they get to New Mexico, Kyle Chandler's going to be divorced. And by the time he's in Austin, these two are going to be together.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I mean, they have amazing chemistry.
It's incredible.
They look like a real married couple. Like just the looks that they give each other, their fights also seem like very like it's just. I end up a part of that is great writing, but I know we'll get into that too. But I think some of their ad libs, what I'm assuming are ad libs, are just spot on.
For sure. For sure. Before we get back to those guys, because I have some other fun tidbits a little bit down the road about them.
Okay.
Let's talk about Tim Riggins.
It's not racism, man. I just don't like him. He could be from Saudi Arabia or Sweden or Czech. That dude could be Santa Claus, and I still won't like him. Name's Tim Riggins, and I play fullback.
It's known that you're one of the more aggressive players. What do you find appealing about that?
I just like to hurt people.
Tim Riggins.
Tell me about Tim Riggins, Rachel Pooh.
Well, here's what I'll say about Tim Riggins. He's a character personally that I enjoyed as we got further into the series.
Sure.
Tim is defense. What does he play? Fullback.
Yeah, so he's on offense. He lays the blocks for the running back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And he was a big defense. I just don't remember what his role was specifically. But he's like, star, and we find out he's a sophomore in the first season. So, but he's also best friends with the senior quarterback.
Which that's what part that doesn't make sense. It looks like they're both seniors.
Oh,
and then and then you can get on board that he's only a
seniors.
junior, and you're like, okay, I get it, he's a junior. And it's like, no, he's a sophomore? What?
Yeah. There's a couple of characters that you're like, no. You were supposed to be a senior, but we got popular, so we're back.
Yep.
He kind of has like a troubled home. He just lives with his brother, no parents. So he kind of gets to do whatever he wants. He's almost, I wish I could count like how many times you see him with like a beer bottle. Like it's insane. He almost always is drunk or buzzed.
And he's always driving when he's drunk.
Yeah.
Or driving with a beer in his hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Constantly. So, but I feel like he's supposed to be pegged as kind of like one of the heartthrobs of
A
this.
real rebel without a cause, if you will.
A real rebel without a cause, for sure. He's even more of a rebel than James Dean was.
For
in that.
sure.
Like, he's drinking
I
and
think
partying, and James Dean is just like...
Yep. I think Taylor Kish is what they really were looking for in that movie.
Sure. Yeah.
For his audition tape, he starts the tape, and he drinks a full tall boy before he even talks. He just chugs it, puts it down, he cracks open a second one, and then he sits there and he has the Texas Forever speech that they have in the very first episode by the pool. Texas Forever.
Oh, I never thought I would say those words
Yeah.
with pride.
Let's talk about Texas.
Let's talk about Texas
This is a
real
good
quick.
time.
We'll get back to Timmy, but...
Yep. The state of Texas.
Yes.
My grandparents lived down there. There has always been like a little bit of a push for us to like move down there throughout my childhood and things at different times. And I grew up a Husker fan, and we used to face the Longhorns. And our rival were Oklahoma, the Sooners. But the people we hated the most, Colorado always pretended, Missouri always pretended. No, it wasn't either one of those teams. It was Texas.
Yeah.
The Texas Longhorns were my most hated team throughout most of my formative years. And so for us to be like considering moving down to Texas was just blasphemous. I hated the color burnt orange. I literally detested the color rage. Now I hate black and yellow, but then I hated burnt orange. And I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the state. Just the fact I remember I was down there in Texas visiting my grandparents, eating delicious Round Rock donuts. If you haven't had them, they're the place to go in Austin. And I picked up the paper, and they had done a poll, and I remember this. They had done a poll on whether Texas should cede from the Union, and over 60% supported Texas becoming its own entity.
Right.
And I thought, this collection of people is so out of their minds, so bonkers.
I know.
I want nothing to do with them. I detest them.
That's history, though. That's their mentality.
Yep.
They aren't they kind of like a sovereignty, or they were at one point, and then they gave that up
for sure.
to join, but they didn't want to.
Mm-hmm. And there's still that little rebellious side that they have.
Oh, for sure. Texas is for rebels.
But I will say that state has grown on me so much in the last 10 years. Like, I could actually see myself. This is crazy.
Whoa. What are you going to say?
I could see myself living in that state.
In Austin city
or
limits.
Dallas or San Antonio. One of those three. Not Houston. But
I would say
I could see
Austin or
me
San
in
Antonio. I'll come with you. Otherwise, you're on your own.
Especially Austin. Austin, even though there's that burnt orange everywhere, we don't face Texas anymore, so I've softened.
Sure.
I still kind of root for their demise,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, I can kind of get on board. I think they're cool. Their campus is amazing. Like, I don't know. There's so many things about them that I've totally softened my stance.
For sure.
I think they're cool. What are your thoughts on Texas?
I also came into this with pretty negative stereotypes for, Texas specifically, but even just the South in general. I'm not usually a huge fan culturally of the attitude.
So sandy.
I'm just very different. What?
It's so sandy
It's
down
so
there.
sandy.
Desert.
It's so hot. So marshy. But yeah, there's something that this series does about like painting small towns like that with kind of like a quaintness. While still showing you all of the gritty stuff that we know that happens everywhere, but that we don't like about small towns, and kind of small-mindedness usually comes with that. But there's I can't explain it. Like it changed my thoughts a little bit about that. So there is definitely like a quaintness to this like Texas forever mentality that I kind of love. I kind of love the state pride. I think also moving to a state like Minnesota, who also has a lot of state pride, but just like on the opposite end of the spectrum as far as geography. Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. I wish I could tell you when it started happening or like what moment it was, but there's just something about it that makes it feel like, oh, I could see why people like Texas so much.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
And even like things like, I used to think cowboy hats and cowboy boots were kind of dumb. I even had a cowboy hat that I got in Texas. And when I got it, I was like more open to it. And then by the time I like kind of grew into the cowboy hat, I was like, this is dumb and I never want to wear it again. Now I'm like, if I moved down there, I would get a cowboy hat and cowboy boots faux show, bro.
But I feel like that's a different kind of Texas. Like nobody in this show really wears any of
Are
that.
you kidding me? You don't see Tyra wearing cowboy boots everywhere she goes, and Taylor
boots,
Kish wearing cowboy boots
but
all
like
the time?
no hats. No one wears cowboy hats, really.
Oh, yeah,
maybe
they
in the
do,
later season,
for
but...
sure.
Not really, though.
Buddy Garrity, you don't remember?
Oh, you don't want to be Buddy Garrity.
Yeah, I want to be Buddy. All right, let's get back to Riggs.
All right.
Okay, so Riggins never played football his entire life, but he was an athlete. He played hockey since he was a little kid.
Oh, okay.
So he's
I
a
was gonna
hockey
say,
kid.
he looks
He's
like...
Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I didn't write it down, but I'm almost positive. He's Canadian.
His build looks like a football player, so when you say hockey, that's not shocking to me. Like, if you would have said basketball, I'd be like, no way. He's not a basketball player. He just is like, he's husky.
He's big.
He's thick.
He's a big dude.
He's a big sophomore. A big 20-year-old sophomore.
Yeah, for sure. Now, he has a nickname that he gives Jason Street, the quarterback who gets injured. What's he call him?
What's his number?
Yeah.
It's double sixes? Double sevens?
No. He just calls him 6.
Oh, 6.
I think he
thought it
calls
was
somebody
double.
else. He does call somebody else like double 2s or double 1s or
Double
something
ones.
like that.
Yeah,
later on in the show.
later on. Someone's
but he
double
calls Street 6, right?
Right, because it's a number.
That was completely made up by Riggins. Or by Taylor Kish.
I love it.
He just created it. He was supposed to say Jason Street in the scene, and he just subbed out 6 instead. And it kept, and everybody's like, oh, that's awesome. You got to keep doing that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's my new thing. I'm going to call people by their numbers, which I think is awesome.
That's
it's fantastic.
I think that's pretty cool.
Zach Gilford. He plays Matthew Saracen.
22! I can't hear you! 22! 22! Listen to me, you're QB1 of the Dillon Panthers. Your teammates, if they can hear you, they will believe in you. Now you let it out until it hurts. You understand me? 22! 22, Rocket! Hit it! 44 crossfire on red. 44! 44 crossfire! Red, red, red! What's your name? Matt Saracen! What you play? QB1! And how do you play it? Perfectly! We'll see about that! Who do you play for, Saracen? Yellow Panthers! How much do you want this? I want it, How much do you want this? I want it! Then take it! Do it again! 44 crossfire!
Tell us about Saracen.
Saracen does he start on the football team at all?
Yeah,
He is, right?
I think he says he's third string quarterback.
Okay.
But by the end of episode 1, he's first string quarterback.
Yeah, I
so
don't know
somehow
how
we
that
skipped
happened.
number 2. Poor kid.
Yeah,
who's second string.
Yeah, he's probably one of our other like big antagonists that we're gonna follow through.
Protagonist.
Oops,
Yeah.
yep, sorry.
He doesn't really oppose the story.
He's an antagonist. We do not want him playing. No, he's a sweetheart. In fact, he was probably the one that I rooted for the most at the beginning of the show. But he kind of gets thrust into this position of having to be quarterback, and he's so bad. He just is trying his best, but he's such a hard worker.
But he has a great arm, and he's great at like improvising. Like
Yes,
he can
he's
slip in
very
and out of the
smart.
pocket and like evade pressure, but he's not super fast at the
Yep.
same time. But he's really wiry.
Yeah.
He's a fighter.
Yes, which is really great. So like, a lot of like the series is him getting coached up to like to be great, but he also like still does like art on the side, and he has a romance into it. I don't know. I keep looking at you for clues. Like, can I say
Go
this?
for it.
Can
Just
I
say it.
this?
We can talk about it.
He ends up like later on like kind of being in love with Coach's daughter, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
You can just imagine the chaos that comes.
So he was working at a sporting goods store when the whole audition started.
Okay.
And it came down to him and this other guy. But the other guy was auditioning for a Disney show at the same time, and he had to miss like one of the auditions. And so because he missed one of the auditions, the producer Peter Berg was like, "Well, I want this guy instead. Like
Sure.
he's been here for everything. He
Yeah.
seems really game. I like him. Let's go with him."
Such a Saracen thing to do.
For
To
sure,
be
he
there
just
all the
shows
time. I'm
up.
always here, Coach. Always here.
I'm always here, just willing to learn and
Pick
try my
me.
hardest. Now let's talk about Minka Kelly. Minka Kelly was Lila Garrity.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I always get the girls mixed up.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. I do too. She was working at as a plastic surgeon scrub nurse, and she would prep patients for plastic surgery for their like boob jobs or lip injections, things like
very
that.
fun.
So that's what she was doing at the time.
That's a good time.
She actually auditioned not for Lila, but for Tyra.
Oh, fascinating. So we have got opposite ends of the spectrum there with our two main gals. We've got head cheerleader, kind of like prep, Miss Priss dating Jason Streep, like the head QB.
Quarterback, yep.
And then on the other side of it, then we've got Tyra, who at the beginning is dating Riggins, but very much more similar family background. Like
Very
sister,
poor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sister's a stripper. Like
Yep.
definitely has come on harder times, and she has more of like a reputation at school. So yeah, but the two like oppose each other.
clash
Obviously,
a
they do
lot.
not like each other, even though both of their boyfriends are besties. So like they run into each other a lot at parties, and fascinating that she thought that she would be more of a
Tyra.
versus Lila.
And Peter Berg said in the audition, he goes, "I want you to read it like you're on heroin." And I've never had heroin. Confession. Ty's confessional circle.
It's a safe space.
Never had heroin. But he told her, "No, you're reading it like you're on coke right now. I want heroin." And so she didn't know how to do it, which I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't know what to do
Not
with that
sure.
note.
Is that more of a downer?
I
than
don't
an
know
upper?
if coke is crazy, right? I've just
Sure.
seen like in movies when people
mean,
do
it-
coke, they're like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, I don't know that that's
But
true
is
either.
heroin like? Are you? I don't know what you'd be like. I would be terrible at that
I
note.
guess, yeah, maybe just like more drunk. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
maybe.
don't know. I would not know how to take that note either.
But I also thought it was weird because like Tyra, spoiler, is not really into drugs too.
No.
So I was like, weird note. But they just said, "You're too sweet, Minka Kelly. You cannot play Tyra." And so they ended up giving her Lila.
I would love to like get that from a actually. Well,
No,
that's
you
twofold.
wouldn't.
I wouldn't because I would want to be able as an actress to like be like broad and stretch myself. But as a person, I would love to be like, "You're just too sweet." Like I'm sweet. That's true.
But you because
Yeah,
you
I would
always
get
say
mad, though.
like, "I don't want to play the characters where they're just like the love interest or the ingenue." You
Sometimes
always
they're boring.
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially in musicals, the soprano O'Garrel
Well, that's
is
your
usually kind of
chance.
boring.
That's your opportunity to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Accept the challenge, Rach.
Accept the challenge.
All right, another person. Smash Williams. Who's Smash?
We're losing out there. What the hell's going on?
Coach, look, they not holding their blocks. I can't get around them.
You are running into your own protection. The holes are open. Why are you running into your own protection?
Coach, they
Why
big.
aren't you being
They
patient?
fast.
Read the blocks, hit the gaps. Read the blocks, hit the gaps.
Yes, sir. The problem is, look.
I'll tell you what the problem is, Smash. The problem is the guy out there with the damn clipboard. That's the problem. That's the problem. You don't play for UT. You play Dillon Panther High School football, and you play for me. So forget the damn list.
I'm gonna make it up to you.
Yes, you are. Because if you don't, I'm going to make some changes out there. I promise you that.
Ash Williams. Boy, I wish I could remember
He's like
all these.
Boogie
Is he
Miles
a running
in the
back
show.
or is he a what?
Running
yeah,
back.
running back. Also, star, like super fast, just naturally gifted. Yeah, I can't remember what grade he's in. Is he also
He's
a
a
sophomore?
junior
He's
the
a junior.
first season.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, he and Riggins kind of like get into tiffs at the beginning because he's kind of like the star and he's got like a big ego. He refers to himself as the Smash.
Yep.
So
yeah, Smash says this.
yeah. So, but again, like he's one similar with like Riggins. Like if he like rubs you the wrong way season 1, just hang in there. Like they have a full
By the end
arc.
of his
Oh, it's
storyline, you will
wonderful.
cry.
Yeah.
You will cry by the
Oh,
end of
yeah,
his storyline.
for
It's
sure.
a magical moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, what I'll say is that they kind of start with a lot of like stereotypes. Like everyone is kind of who you think they are at the beginning, and then all of this life just happens, and then I would say all of the characters that I can think of right now all have a really awesome arc, except Julie Taylor. She is the worst.
Okay, let's just get into it.
Julie Taylor is Coach's daughter.
Okay, yes.
That's
So
all I'm gonna say
Julie
about
Taylor
that.
is the coach's daughter. Rach, what do you do with avoiding spoilers as much as possible?
Sure.
Why does Julie irritate you so much?
Probably because I'm the most like her.
Because you're a principal's daughter.
I don't know. She just I don't know what it is. She just is. She's whiny a lot, and she gets herself into like situations where you're like, Julie, quit being an idiot. Just knock it off. Or like, it's not so bad. You made this problem for yourself.
For
Quit.
sure. Sometimes,
So,
sometimes
a
her
lot of
parents,
times.
Connie and Kyle, are like very understanding, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes they press a little too hard, but for the most part, I think they're pretty good parents.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes she just does such stupid stuff that you just want to be like, you want to shake her.
Knock
Be
it
like,
off,
what are you
Julie.
doing, you little idiot? But that's why it's nice when she's with Saracen, because you love Saracen so much, so you
Yes.
start to forgive some of her idiocy when that happens.
Yeah, I
By
would
the way,
agree.
do you think we're getting into some of the details, but that's okay.
You should have stopped a long time ago if you didn't want spoilers.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that throughout the whole show, all the way up to the end, that Coach Taylor, Kyle Chandler, is a little hard on Matt Saracen?
Yes.
I think all the
I
way,
do.
even till the end, he
Yeah.
treats him unfairly, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There are moments, and I don't remember at what point, because again, we're talking about hours and hours of
40 hours of TV at
watching.
least.
At some point in the middle there,
Oh, more than 40. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
there's kind of like they form like a pretty tight bonding connection. It's usually like when Saracen is ever having issues like with family, or like he just has so much pressure on him. He's taking care of his grandma, his dad's at war, and you think that Kyle Chandler is going to kind of step up and be that
Be the
father
father,
figure,
yep.
and he steps up to like a certain degree, but I think like Coach takes better care of other kids.
He
in
does.
This. He takes better care of Riggins.
For
He
sure.
takes
He's
better
way
care-
better father figure to Riggins.
Yeah.
Way better father figure to Jason Street. Way better father figure to Michael B. Jordan, who in later seasons, who
Michael
we'll get
B.
into. And he treats other people so much better.
Do you think it's because Saracen starts dating his daughter?
Maybe.
Do you think
But I
there's-
don't. But then that makes me feel like that's not fair. You shouldn't have. Why are you? He's a good match for your daughter.
He is.
He gets her out of trouble so
Yeah,
much.
Yeah. I mean, truly.
Yeah.
If you if you wanted her to date anybody on the football team, which I know you don't, Coach, but if you had to pick somebody,
You would pick
probably
Saracen.
Saracen.
For sure.
Or Landry.
Yeah, or Landry.
I love
or
Landry, too.
Landry, by the way, I forgot to write down the actor's name. He comes up a little later in my format. But he becomes the most famous out of everybody.
Yeah.
He's
yep.
in so many movies now.
Yep.
And he would be like the least likely character I would suspect from that.
Oh, 100%.
You think Riggins is gonna be famous? Maybe like
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B is the most famous.
for sure.
But like you think Smash, because Smash is it got such good charisma.
Excellent.
That especially being an African American actor, you're like, oh, he's gonna be a big deal. Like so many people don't become as big of deals as you think they will. But Landry somehow finds his way to become a huge star.
I don't know. You just found that like
so wild.
that market on guys who are like kind of blonde, so blonde that they don't have eyebrows, kind of have a weird look about him, but he's so funny and he's so charismatic.
My buddy Paul and I used to always say he looks like Matt Damon's ugly little brother.
Yes! 100. In fact, I think there's a couple of people listening to this that are like, oh, now I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that
for
guy.
Sure. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
I also think he looks
Great
like
comp.
Scott Frost's ugly little brother.
Yep.
Nebraska football
that
coach.
would work as well. More blonde. I see it.
Him and Matt Damon, they're all family, by the way. Matt Damon,
Oh,
Scott
cousins.
Frost, Landry.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So back to Smash.
Okay.
Smash was really terrible at football.
Oh, really?
God awful. So
That's so
everything they did with Smash and as far as like athletic stuff,
Yeah.
they had to like sub in other people and like try to hide as much as they could. So they'd
Okay.
have him run and things, but he's
Yeah.
just really
Hopefully he can handle that.
not good at football.
Gotcha.
You know who was really good at football though? Like a superstar at football. Probably could have gone into
Have we
it.
brought them up yet?
We just brought him up. Michael B.
Michael B.
Michael B.
I'm not shocked by
is
this.
a hell of an athlete.
Yeah.
For one thing, go watch Creed because man,
for
he's
sure.
so
You
good.
could
He's
tell.
so buff.
You
He's
could
so
tell.
awesome. But in actual, like when they would play
Mm-hmm.
and they would like do fake scrimmages and stuff, Michael B was good enough that they kept him in with everybody else.
Sure.
They're like, he can play.
Yeah.
And a
Let
lot
him
of
play, let
a lot
him
of
play.
people who know football that were attached to the show were like, he's a good enough athlete
Mm.
and has this natural inclination towards this.
Mm-hmm.
He could actually do this if he really wanted to. Not at the
Wow.
highest of levels,
No,
but he could still
like
do it.
still, yeah.
He could play in high school. He could maybe play at a low college level. So that's how good of a player he was.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And he missed out on a lot of sports throughout his growing up, like in the industry. So for him, he said that this experience in the show was kind of his opportunity
like
to
high
be,
school?
to be in a high school sport. This was it. So that's really kind of exciting too for him.
I guess because this is the first thing that I can remember him in, but you said he grew up in the industry. So
Yeah, he
was
did a
kinda
lot
like
of
trying
little
to be an
stuff.
actor when he was younger.
A lot of little stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. I mean, he's got a good look for it. So if he wasn't acting before this, I'm glad he is now.
Oh, and he's such a stud, man. He is awesome. He
Yeah.
is a fantastic actor.
I think when I look back at the whole series, he probably pulls the most tears out of me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
he just has the most going on. So he'll come later on in the series. If you're watching it and you're like, there's no Michael B. Jordan here. He's an 8th grader, essentially,
Yeah,
when
for
this
sure.
starts. So just stay with it. He'll come. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's excellent, and his story is just fascinating.
Yeah,
He's got
for
so
sure.
much going on, so
Oh.
much adversity to overcome. Probably the most, I mean, Jason Streep getting paralyzed. I mean, that's a game changer, right?
Yep,
But
definitely.
I would liken that to a very similar like background and just having to overcome so many obstacles to get to where he's at.
The last moment of the series, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it's between Coach and Michael B. And they have this dialogue together. I was openly weeping during it. Rach can attest. She's like, it was like shaking, weeping, like, no, my God. It was so special.
Yep. Yeah, I told so my sister Nat and her boyfriend were also watching this at the same time, and we had talked about like, yeah, maybe we'll all watch it together, and because of quarantine we ended up not doing that. But I told her this last week, I was like, it was really good that maybe we just watched this separately because Ty and I were just a mess. Like
Yeah,
every
for
episode
sure.
we were just like sobbing, and
Yeah.
they had just finished it and they said the same thing. Like they were both just
Yeah.
like, yeah. Well, Nat said, I don't know if Colin cried, but Nat did. She's like, oh, I just cried and cried.
For sure. It is so awesome.
Yeah.
Awesomely emotional.
Yeah.
So the guy who played Buddy,
If you find any dealership in the state of Texas where you can have more fun buying a car or truck, drive it here and I will buy it back from you for more than you paid for it. Also, right now, I'm going to throw in a family feast for 4 at Applebee's and 2 Panther playoff tickets. Just remember, deep in the heart of Texas, deep in my heart, I'm your buddy.
Buddy Garrity, who is
Lila's
Lila
dad.
Garrity's dad. Another fun adult character. I love it in the show that the kids and the adults are equally as interesting to watch. In fact, I think as I get older, I actually tend to like watch more like, what are the adults doing? Like,
For sure.
What's mom and dad doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. So, but yeah, he's a fun adult character. He owns the used car lot in town.
Yeah, he's
so
a big booster, gives a lot of money to the football
Yeah,
team.
he always wears his ring back in the day when he and the Dillon Panthers won state. And so that's the thing about the town that is like kind of like equal parts charming, equal parts like annoying. It's like everything
sure.
just rotates around football, and you're like, God, I hate it, but I love it so
Especially
much.
the first season, people will just come up and they'll just show their ring to you at a restaurant. They'll be like, "Gonna get one of these this year, coach," or things like that. It's like, oh, I want to punch this person, but at the same time, I understand.
I get it, but
I realized we were talking about our towns, and
Our hometowns?
Yeah, our hometowns. So in South Sioux, girls basketball was that thing.
You were that thing.
We were
Or
expected to win
they were.
state every single year.
Yeah.
Our spring break was the girls' state basketball tournament.
Yeah.
Not the boys. The boys, we could care less. In fact, my senior boys, the boys team that I was a part of throughout all my childhood and then stopped doing my sophomore year, we won 2 games sophomore year, 2 games junior year. We doubled our win total senior year, which was a big deal. We won
dog.
4 games.
That's awesome.
Horrible.
Our school was similar to this.
And in football, we were not a football town at all. We went on a 3 or 4 year. I think it was 4. A 4-year defeated streak. Not undefeated streak. Defeated, losing every single game of the year.
Yeah.
We never won a game, I think, all my years of high school. And it was 8th grade that we went to state. We almost won the championship. We lost in the semis. But yeah, otherwise, after that, it was just destruction.
Yeah, as far as having like a dynasty of being able to like win year after year, no, not the case with any of my high school's athletics.
What about dance?
Except dance,
Yes.
which I was a part of, which back in that day was amazing. I think they have fallen on hard times.
Oh,
is
that's
kind
a
of
bummer.
what I've been understanding. So, at any rate, but that was kind of our version of girls' state. But I think girls' state basketball is like a little bit different than girls' dance state because
Sure,
like you go
yeah.
every year no matter what, and like if you win, and which we did, but. Yeah, it's different. It's very different.
Yeah, I mean, the girls' basketball thing at South Sioux was just incredible. It was the main thing you would talk about with South Sioux City. You'd say like girls' basketball.
Sure.
That's like what's
Price,
attached
you
to it.
price still.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think
No,
they're
but
as
like
good anymore.
like
but
reflectively.
yo, sure.
Like talk
yeah.
about the good
Yep.
days.
Oh, remember back in the day when we won all those girls' state basketball tournaments? It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
It was really
I bet
cool.
that would have been fun to be a part of.
It was really fun. I enjoyed being a part of it. But Brad Leland, he plays Buddy Garrity, and he wanted to be a part of the show as well as the movie. So he kind of pitched it to the creators.
Okay.
And one thing he pitched throughout the entire show is he really, really badly, after some hard times happened to him and his family, he wanted a girlfriend or another wife character. Like he wanted a love interest for like the whole last part, like for 4 seasons of the show. He's like, you gotta give me a love interest this season.
Oh,
But then-
like because he was already his character was married, but he wanted like something fun,
Yeah.
like an affair type of story, or
Well,
something like
later
that?
on, later seasons,
Oh,
just
okay.
spoiler alert, he's no longer with his wife.
Yeah.
But so he wanted a girlfriend or a wife character, like somebody to come in. He's
Oh,
like, give me
funny.
a romantic interest.
Let
but
me
they would
show you
not
what I
do
can
it.
do.
He pitched it for all 4 seasons after the first season.
Buddy, we could really care less like who you kiss. Like we're not in it for that. We don't want to watch that. We want to watch Kyle Chandler and Connie Britton kiss. We do not want to watch you kiss anybody.
Let's talk about, we've talked about a lot of attractive people in this show.
Okay.
Let's talk about the least attractive person in this show.
Buddy Garrity.
No, I could debate. Well, yeah, he probably is. But you and I have both marveled at how unattractive this person is.
Oh, gosh, this sounds mean.
It is, especially when I tell you who it is.
It is.
Little baby Gracie Bell.
Oh.
They get a baby
Oh my
out
gosh.
towards the end of season 1.
Yeah, coach and what? They have a
And
baby.
the baby looks like even as a little girl, because by the end of the show, she's like 4.
Oh man.
She's got this alien head.
She's a weird looking little baby. Like you could just tell like, oh. her forehead just like bulges out, and it always has like dull bruises on it because
She
she
does.
bunked it around on stuff because she can't
seriously
control
has-
her head because
She
it's so
seriously
big.
has bruises almost every episode on her head in different spots.
You know what happened? She's like, bonk.
She also has this blonde wispy hair too. and
Which I can attest to. That sucks. It sucks to have blonde wisps until you're 3 and not have really any hair. But we'll make up for it now, girl.
yeah, I bet she's really cute now. Rach just made a face. Awesome. So Gracie Bell, actually,
throw Gracie Bell under the bus. Just her name, Gracie Bell.
Gracie Bell
Oh, Gracie.
was played by triplets.
What?
Those were 3 alien babies.
What?
Yep.
3 ugly babies.
Yeah.
That's so mean.
Oh man.
Wow, that's so kind of like when we talked about Marley and Me when you need 20 dogs to play
Yeah, for sure.
one dog. You need 3 babies to play one baby.
There you go.
Fascinating.
Yep.
And do they talk about like why that is or just because they
I
just
don't
had
know.
triplets or
It
like
just
sweet,
says Gracie
sub
Bell's
one and
triplets.
this one's fussy. Get another one in here. Well, that one's sleeping. Here, pull that one.
I think that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
I think that's
big
like
thing is
it's
easier.
probably easier to deal with triplets, and I think I'm always guessing that's a friend when they need a baby. The producers are all talking like, "Hey, any buddies have any like babies right now?
Anybody wanna bring
I'd
their
rather
kid
pay
on
a
set?"
buddy who has a baby."
I mean, it would make sense. I don't think that's how it's done, but that would make sense to me. That's how I would do it. Bring your kid. They're well behaved.
So let's get into the filming a little bit. We'll come back to
Okay.
these characters and kind of debate some things and talk about stuff in a little while. But let's talk about filming. Dillon is a real town. Majority of it is all shot in Austin, though. And what would you say, like, Dillon would be a town that you would ever be able to move to? This football-crazed, crazy town. Could you live in that kind of situation?
So what I'll say is I can appreciate this small town, and they gave me a lot of love for this town that I otherwise would have just like written off. I don't know that I could live in a town this small and this focused on
You think
just
it's
football.
You think it's smaller than Mankato?
I do.
To me, it looks
I think-
around like it's got to be more than 20,000.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much more.
Yeah. I would say yes because we have a university, and so I think that like really makes it much bigger. Mankato feel much bigger, but if you
Sure,
take
yeah.
the university out, it'd be pretty close.
Yeah, I think it's comparable to that. Like
yeah.
I
But
would
they don't
guess
have a mall or anything.
no, they don't. So maybe like 20,000, 30,000,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, probably half the size of
Yeah,
Mankato.
pretty rural though. Even though they talk about it being a suburb-ish type of location, it's probably still like
Yes.
half hour away from that city.
It's
though.
probably circled by farmland, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yep, for sure. Now, the football scenes, they're all filmed based off of the Pflugerville Panthers, which is a real suburb of Austin.
Oh, Pflugerville.
The Pflugerville Panthers. And they took the game film right from the Pflugerville Panthers because they
Oh,
wore
really?
those uniforms. They just copied the uniforms
Yeah.
from them, and they took all their footage based off of them for the first few seasons. So that's where they
Oh.
get it from.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. You could be in a TV show and you didn't even know it.
And then they would just mix in like certain game situations that they needed, or like the Hail Mary pass and stuff like that. Like
Sure.
some of those things were just added in. But a lot of that film was just like, let's say there was an interception. Let's pull an interception from that Pflugerville game that happened a couple of weeks ago. When they started filming, how old do you think? Let's do a little game. How old was Landry when they started filming season 1?
Landry was 19?
He was 18. Very close.
I was going to say 18.
Julie. How old was Julie?
Julie was 18?
17. Very
I'm
nice.
batting a little high.
Yeah, that's close though. How old was Lila?
Lila was 21.
26.
Whoa!
She was the oldest out of all the
26.
kids. Yeah.
Wow, she's got great skin for being 26. I'm serious.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Yeah.
does, for sure. How old was Riggins?
Riggins was 23.
25. Now, Riggins is one that by the end of the show, and he's supposed to look like he's 21-ish, 20, he looks too old for that.
Yeah.
I think he
Oh, yeah.
looks like he's like in his early 30s by the end of the show, but he's still attractive and everything.
Oh,
You just,
for
like,
sure. Like, yeah. But he's a man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a man running around with a bunch of boys.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, so that makes sense why when he's a junior in high school, he's so ripped, too. he's 20. That was the next season. That's 26 years old.
Yeah.
How old do you think Saracen was?
He looks a little bit younger. I would say 22.
25.
Ah.
How old was Tyra? Adrian Palicki. We haven't really talked about her yet.
Miss Tyra. Miss able to... Can't remember. Heroin. What was the drug?
Yep, heroin.
She nailed it because she could do a good heroin impression.
For sure.
Tyra would be 24.
Very close, 23.
Okay.
Yeah, no right-ons, though. So you lose the game.
Oh, that was a hard game.
It was.
It's really hard when you have to figure out how old like people in movies when they play high schoolers or
For
TV
sure.
shows, because you know that they're older than their real age. So it actually does not give you a good thing to compare yourself to when you're in high school. You're like, well, Tyra's gorgeous. I'm supposed to be the same age as her, and I've got weird teeth, and it's like I'm still wearing braces.
She's a woman.
She's a woman. That's not fair.
So, yeah, because Tyra, the first season, is supposed to be a sophomore like Riggins, and you're like, what?
No
Those
sophomore
two,
looks like that.
Those two would not
my
look like that as
gosh.
sophomores.
Those are some of my most awkward years, freshman into sophomore year. Eighth, freshman, sophomore.
Those are the three?
Those are
not
hard
7th
years.
grade? I feel like 7th grade was the most awkward for me.
I hadn't lost my eye teeth yet.
Oh, okay.
So my smile was still like pretty solid, and then I lost my eye teeth, and so I had like, these little like fangs that kind of came down, and they're still they're a little pointy eye teeth.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah.
Play vampires.
You're looking at them
True
right
Blood.
now. Quit looking at them.
Vampire Diaries.
Yes.
Buffy. Well, and there are shows like The OC that make that also hard to tell. Because, like, Marissa, she's actually, like, that age when they start filming. She's like 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan and Seth and Rachel Bilson, they're all, like, in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
So, like, there's always discrepancies in the cast,
Yeah,
too. So that's
hard.
difficult.
That's hard.
You mentioned something a little earlier. And this confirmed a lot of the things that we would talk about when we watched the show. We'd mention, gosh, it just feels so natural. It feels so visceral. Like, what are they doing here to make this feel so
this
natural?
writing is incredible.
Let me go through some of the things they would do.
Okay.
They did not rehearse any of the scenes.
Oh.
There was zero rehearsal. They would do a 3-camera setup. So instead of having these multiple cameras in the studio type setting, they would film on location, like in real houses.
Yeah.
And they would do 3-camera
That makes
setups.
sense.
And they would have the actors wear body mics. And so then when Julie gets in a huffy tantrum and she walks off stage during the scene,
Yeah.
they can still pick up what she's saying and it doesn't sound weird. And so it allowed them to be natural. And then in a lot of the scenes where they were like on the streets, they would just have one camera.
Yeah.
Just one camera, and they would tell people, like, here's the general story, here's what we're trying to get across. And then actors had the freedom to change their lines, to not hit any marks. So, like, in film, you have to hit your mark, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll be on the floor.
Sure.
And you'll kind of see it with your peripheral vision, like in soap operas especially.
Yeah.
You'll hit your mark, so you know you have that camera shot all set up. They had no marks. They would just tell them natural blocking. So you'll even see sometimes their heads will get cut off or they'll walk out of the shot and then they'll come back into it.
Yeah.
And that was all just natural part of picking up the scene. And the 3 cameras one of the cameras is going to pick it up. And so it doesn't matter. You just live in the space. You create the lines. You ad lib. You decide where you want to go. And we will pick everything up. And we'll make this a real moment for the actor.
Wow. What I'll say is I think that frees up so much brain space too, because think about when you are thinking about blocking and you're thinking about I don't know, but I'm assuming with TV, like you're thinking about angles
Sure.
and all of that. Like it would be it's just more things to have to think about and more like you have to add to that craft to be able to do it well and to do it naturally.
Yes.
So if you can take that out and you can just do those pieces and just live in the scene, like, oh, wow, that's awesome.
And we talked about how Connie Britton and Kyle Chandler's arguments that they have in the show are so natural. It's crazy. They're overlapping lines. They're like trying to talk over each other. And then Julie will jump in and try to talk over them too. And they'll all be arguing. And then Julie will leave. And then Kyle Chandler will start laughing while Connie starts laughing too. It's like visceral. It's real. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you're upset.
Well, yeah, I'm upset.
Well, you know what? I should have given you more notice, all right? But I was a little bit busy.
I know. Your job is really stressful.
Look, Tammy,
you know
I don't
what,
need-
honey? I'm doing it, all right? I threw the party for over 100 people in 2 days' time. I did it with no help, and I'm cleaning up after your football stars, who, by the way, happen to be pigs. I'm doing it, but I'm not going to pretend to like it. Not right now. Not down here. When I go back up there, I'll give you a big smile, all right? Just like I know you need. But down here, I am pissed. And I'm going to stay down here until I can get back up there and give you your smile, all right?
When you're done down here, it'd be really great if you'd come up and help me host.
It could not work for every actor. There are actors
No,
out there that
that's
couldn't
true.
handle it.
That's true.
But I think that the actors they chose were brilliant at utilizing that.
Yeah, I think just overall as a series, it just well acted.
Mm-hmm.
I believed it. I believed it
Yes.
100%. I could drive up to a town, and I could see them all there, and I wouldn't think it was weird.
So, go ahead.
Except for, the high schoolers being 26 years old. That's a little weird.
Wow, those really.
The counselor probably should have done a better job at getting them out of school, getting them to graduate, so they're not 26 years old anymore.
All these attractive people come to this little small Texas town too.
That's true. That is true.
That's
There's
one
a
thing
lot
with
of
the
people
movie.
that are attractive in this town.
The movie, they are not near as attractive.
Sure.
For one thing, the movie takes place in the 80s, but like I would say 0 of them are as attractive. They're also not very good actors. A lot of the kids, they're
Oh,
pretty poor
yeah.
actors.
Okay.
But like in the TV show, they picked really attractive people, really great actors. It's nuts.
Where are we?
We're in paradise.
Dillon, Texas.
So they would have this 8-hour shoot schedule because they did things so viscerally. So they wouldn't have these huge 16-hour long shoots.
Oh,
And
okay.
a lot of time with soap operas and TV, you have like really crazy long shooting schedules for like most of the week, and then you get a few days off.
Sure.
But for these guys, they were able to just do these 8-hour shoots. It happened really, really quickly, kept costs down, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
But one of the things they get critiqued about, especially in the first season, and this is one thing going back and watching the show, I was a little nervous in the beginning episodes.
Yeah.
It's a jiggly camera.
Oh.
It's very much like found footagey. You know how there's the camera
Yeah.
jiggles around a
I
lot.
could see
and
that.
everything? And they correct it as the season when they go into season 2. But in season 1, they have a lot of jiggly camera stuff.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a big critique that people had with the show.
I see. Well, okay. So, listeners, if you haven't watched yet, and for some reason you're still listening to this, which you probably shouldn't
You
be,
fools.
You fools. Stop. Yeah. Okay. Keep that in mind then. If you get a little motion sick, ride it out.
Ride it
Ride
out.
it out. Take some Dramamine. Ride it out.
The Riggins house that they used for the entire duration of the show.
Yeah.
The Riggins house was disgusting by
Yeah.
all reports. Adrian Palicki, who plays Tyra, she said that every time they would film in there, that she'd get bug bites all over her arms.
Ugh.
People would get sick. The pool had like this weird sludgy stuff in it.
Oh,
And there was a
gross.
doctor because somebody on set got sick when they were filming in there.
Yeah?
And he came in and he goes, "You guys have to get out of this house. This house is disgusting."
Ew. Ew.
Yeah, so
Well, and they do so much like drinking and partying in that house, so were they just
But it
like not
looks-
cleaning it up?
I'll be honest, it doesn't look horrible though.
I mean, it doesn't look like you get sick from walking inside of
No.
it for sure.
I would think that more with like Saracen's house, lives in this really small house. It looks
Yeah.
pretty run down.
Yeah, for sure.
But not in the Riggins house. It actually
No.
looks fairly decent.
I oftentimes think, how do those Riggins brothers afford this house, just the two of them? Like, the brother's not doing a lot of work. Tim's in high school, but they
Tim's
have
in-
this like
yep.
pretty nice house.
Yep, for sure. For sure. Now, during the filming for the end of the season, spoiler alert,
Oh, stop now.
we are at the state championship game.
Okay.
Kyle Chandler has that epic speech that he gives at the end of season 1 to get the players motivated to go out there and just crush it.
Mm-hmm.
When he was filming it, he got super sick and he had a really, really bad fever. And Connie Chandler says that he was like the biggest baby ever that day. He was just whining about everything. And Chandler had like this feverish quality that he doesn't remember filming that like epic speech at all.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
It's like, I don't remember it. I learned the lines. I got up there and did it. I felt horrible. And I immediately just went and lied down right after I filmed it.
Oh,
So
I
he was
wanna watch
miserable
it
during
again now.
that final season episode.
Wow.
There was supposed to be. There's some hot and heavy moments between Connie and Kyle.
Okay.
There was supposed to be a sex scene.
Oh.
At the top of season 2,
Okay.
you were supposed to see Those two come back together
Mm-hmm.
and then have this really hot and heavy sex scene.
Okay.
There was a lot of pressure by the studio, by
Mm-hmm.
NBC, to like up viewership, do crazy stuff. We need craziness. You let that play a factor as well.
Getting into that.
And so they wanted to have this sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it. They filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle Chandler was so awkward during it. He was like sweating profusely. He just was super awkward, like with all their kisses and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
Connie like had to like give him a pep talk and be like, "You need to get into this. Get your act together. We have to film this sex scene." And they filmed it. And Kyle, there was no way that they could salvage any of the footage because Chandler was so embarrassing. Like during it, they're like, "There's no way to slice it. We can't salvage this sex scene."
Oh, that
so
kinda
they
makes
cut
me
it.
love him more.
It is kind of charming,
It's
isn't
really
it? So they
sweet.
cut that, and they just decided we're never gonna do a sex scene again. It can't happen
Can't do it
because
Mom
Kyle
and
Chandler
Dad
is so
can't.
awkward.
That's fine.
Now, in one of the scenes, they were doing like a romantic scene, but it doesn't go that far.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Garrity, Bradley Lynch, discovered that they were going to do this like romantic scene,
Mm-hmm.
and so he prepared himself, and he got down into his boxers. And he jumped in the middle of the bed in the middle of this sex scene, and he was like all sweaty because it was really hot that night and it was really humid. And Connie Britton says he was absolutely disgusting. She's like, "Get this big old sicko out of here." So they had a lot of fun shenanigans on the set, which sounds really fun. But Connie said that Kyle Chandler would kind of get super nervous every time they even had to kiss on film.
Oh.
He just couldn't handle it. It was just weird for him. He just
I mean,
would get really nervous and awkward, and she had to kind of coach him through it.
Really?
Mhm.
I wonder, like, as an actor, like, oh, that's interesting to me. There's a couple ways I can take that.
Sure.
It could be he's so in love with his wife that, like, this feels bad, and I'm going to just, like, go with that because he just seems like
It's
such
charming.
a,
That's the
he seems
charming
like such a
response.
good guy. Or the other side of me is, like, he was so in love with Connie that, like, he is just like, I can't.
Well,
I'm so nervous about this. Like,
Connie's super hot, bro.
Ooh, yeah, we
Like,
can all agree.
Yeah. So his nervousness at making out with Connie Britton is well founded.
Well founded. Interesting. I'm just gonna go off it because he just isn't used to like playing that role, and he's just more of like, you know, a guy's guy. And
But he had done so many shows. Like he had to have kissed so many women
I mean,
in
he's
film
so
already.
attractive. It's shocking to me that this would be the first time that he has to do like intimate scenes with a lady partner.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have to go back. Do you think let's do a little Googling tonight? I'll do some Googling tonight. Kyle Chandler love scenes. I'll see what I can find.
Oh, I'm sure you'll have a good time doing that.
I will.
So let's talk about how the show did. This show won an Emmy, its very first season,
Oh, nice.
for best casting,
Okay.
which right on
yeah.
deserves it
Nailed it.
110%.
Agree.
Now, Connie and Kyle Chandler, they both got up for Best Actor and Actress
Okay.
for several seasons.
Mhm.
Connie never wins it, though.
Oh,
But
shoot.
Kyle Chandler won it the very last season. Season 5, he wins Best Actor Emmy, which is
Nice.
awesome.
Kinda
By the
like
way,
a
we only talk about the Emmys here
sum
because
it
we
up.
don't care about the Globes. We don't care about anything else.
Okay.
Now, its very last season, it's up for Best Drama. It loses to Mad Men.
Oh, Mad Men had started by then.
Yeah.
Oh.
But here's where we might have a disagreement.
Yeah.
Mad Men won for the 4th time in a row.
Oh.
So this is 4th season Mad Men. This is not the
Okay.
first couple seasons where you're
Okay.
establishing like a new thing.
Mhm.
You have the Donald Draper effect, all the cool like
Yeah.
advertising and stuff. It's a snapshot of history. This is the 4th season.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday Night Lights loses to the 4th season of Mad Men. I don't agree with it.
Oh, okay. So what I'll say is I can't remember what happened in season 4 of Mad Men.
I
So
don't either.
it's probably I probably agree with you. Because you're right. I mean, there's something about now. If it was Mad Men's first season, it's like, oh man, that's tough luck.
I
That's like
agree.
when
even Mad Men's 2nd season, because you're still like riding the wave of it being
yeah,
a
it's
terrific
still like,
show.
wow, this is so great.
Yep. I think after
Yeah.
season 3, you get diminishing returns of Mad Men, though.
Yeah, it's like when Adele and Beyonce come out with an album the same year. We're like, oh no, oh no, not again. This happens a lot. It's happened twice, and Adele won both times.
Did she really?
Yeah.
But I thought Taylor Swift beats Beyonce in something.
Oh.
And that's when Kanye went crazy.
I think that was like for like music video or something
Oh,
later.
okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I don't remember
Gotcha.
exactly. I thought it was
Okay.
a song or I. What I'm talking about Adele. Focus on Adele.
Sure. Okay. But there's a lot of shows that were getting multiple nominations throughout. I kind of just did a generic look at all the Emmy years that Friday Night Lights would have been up for it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of from season 2 through 5, which I don't think season 2 should have been up, but 3, 4, and 5 I think are super strong candidates along with 1. We'll go into 1 specifically, but in 3, 4, and 5 there's a lot of Dexter, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Lost, Good Wife, True Blood. I've never seen True Blood or Good Wife, but the fact that those get nommed over Friday Night Lights is crazy sauce to me.
Well, you can't say that because you've never
I
seen
know
them.
enough. See the trailers. All right, so the first season, which I think the first season of Friday Night Lights, if you don't like the show after the first season, hey, that's fair. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. It wasn't for you. But if you have to give it the first season a shot. The first season of Friday Night Lights, which I think is the best single season of television of all time, in my opinion.
Wow.
That and the OC season 1, those are boom, boom.
Ooh,
those
very
two
good,
first
too.
seasons are tremendous. The first season, it was up against Sopranos, arguably the best TV show of all time.
Heavy hitter there.
Boston Legal, which I never saw.
I saw a little bit of Boston Legal.
Yeah.
I can't remember it though. I
To
don't think
me,
it was around super long.
It wasn't
was it?
around, so that's why I'm especially I don't think it has staying power, Friday Night Lights.
Sure.
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh shoot. Uh-oh.
Are you serious right now? My buddy David Loudermilk's going to be mad at me. Are you serious? Grey's Anatomy got nominated over Friday Night Lights season 1? Ridiculous. Heroes.
Oh.
Now I'm getting really mad.
Now you're boiling.
Now I'm boiling. And then the last one, I've seen plenty of episodes of, and I firmly disapprove that Friday Night Lights wouldn't get nominated over this show.
Okay.
But it's a good show still. House.
Oh. Yeah.
Another medical drama, quirky main character. Give him a Best Actor nom. Doesn't deserve to be in the running for Best Drama. So, Sopranos, I can see. The other ones,
One of the best shows of all time, according to many lists.
the other ones, I do not understand how the heck they would get over Friday Night Lights season 1. It's insane to me. It's obscene. It's insane. It's wild. It's crazy. I'm getting fired up just talking
You were
about
so
it.
fired up. We might need to take a break soon.
No, we don't. No breaks.
All right. Let's keep rolling.
Oh, God. It's getting hot in here. All right. Let's play another game.
Oh,
called-
only if we're going to be relaxed during this next
Oh, I'm
game.
so relaxed now.
Okay.
This next game is called What Do You Think the Rotten Tomatoes score was for each season of Friday Night Lights?
Oh, my gosh. Whoa.
Season 1. What do you think the score was for the whole season?
First, I'm surprised that Rotten Tomatoes makes things for seasons.
It
That's
came
crazy.
around this time where they started to do
Okay.
critiques of shows.
Okay, so this is not what I would give it, but what I think Rotten Tomatoes
Yep.
would give it. I think it's in the 80s.
Okay.
I think it's 82.
Okay. 94%.
Oh, good. I'm pleased. That's probably what I would give it. So I'm happy to say that no, not 100, Ty. Everything is not without faults.
100%. 75%. 100%. 100%. 100%. That's how I would rate all of them.
That's actually pretty spot on.
All right, season 2.
Season 2 would drop a bit.
What would you drop it to?
What would I drop it to, or Rotten Tomatoes drop
Or
it
what
to?
did Rotten Tomatoes drop it to?
From a 94, Rotten Tomatoes took it down to a 61.
92%.
What?
It dropped 2%.
Season 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the consensus, and some of the reviews are funny because they're just horrible storyline, but it's still great drama. It's great,
It is.
great look at small town Texas.
It was so. Should we just get into why season 2 is what it is?
We'll get into it in a second.
Okay. Pause. Season 3, I think you jump right back up. I would, but
Okay. What would you give it? What do you think they gave it?
I think they gave it. Was it 92 for the last one?
Yeah.
Back up to 94.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Season 4, what do you think for them?
98.
100%.
Yeah.
Season 5, what do you think
100%.
of that? 100%.
I'm a slow learner,
Yeah.
but I got it.
All right, now what are your ratings for each
Wow.
season?
That's great. I mean, I would say I liked the 94 that it gave it. I would say 94.
Okay.
What did I say for season 2? Or was I saying Rotten Tomatoes?
You were saying Rotten Tomatoes.
I think I can see the argument there that it shouldn't drop like so much just because two characters have this really bizarre little story that happens in the midst of it. The rest of it's really great.
Mm-hmm.
So I will drop it down to, I'll go 80.
Okay.
And then back up to 90s the rest of the way. Or 94 or whatever.
Okay, so they're all 1, 3, 4, 5 are all tied.
I mean, I would say 1, maybe I'll change it. Maybe 1 would be a 95 and then the last one will be a 95.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, in the order for me in seasons.
Or maybe 4 would be up there.
I go
4.
I go 1, 4,
Yeah.
5,
Yep.
3, 2.
I agree with that.
Do you really?
I agree with that ranking.
Oh.
I couldn't remember what happened in 4, and that's when like a lot of new characters are introduced,
Mhm.
and the drama just gets so good. Michael B kind of takes over.
That's when Michael B comes in.
And he's got I can't remember between 4 and 5, but 4, I think I like his story a little bit better because he's being new and he's introduced, and you start to see his character
for sure
make that arc.
Yep.
Oh yes, I agree.
And by the way, the original concept for the show was a rotating cast of characters. So like season 1 would end, multiple people would graduate, there'd be a couple holdovers, and then a brand new cast of characters. But people fell in love with the characters so much that they were like, no, we don't want Riggins to go.
Yeah, all the little girls like, no, not Tim.
Not Timmy. And so they're like, all right, Tim's sophomore, is that okay? Or, yeah, we want 2 more years.
Sophomore Tim, yes.
So the feedback for these shows, for the seasons, everybody just huge kudos to Connie and Kyle for their relationship. They're known as one of the best TV couples of all time.
Oh, easy.
In fact, when you look at TV couples, they are at the top or near the top on almost every list.
Yeah.
Just awesome dynamics between these two. Fantastic. The season 2 pilot episode where the crazy storyline happens. Do you want to tell them what the crazy storyline is?
Yes,
'Kay.
I do.
All right.
Okay, so season
Spoilers.
2, what we have, so we have the character of Tyra, and she is being followed by this random dude, this random guy who's kind of stalking her. And during this time, she has formed a pretty close friendship, almost kind of like borderline
No, I like it.
relationships.
Bordermans.
A bordermans.
Yep.
With Landry.
Yep.
Who's our ugly
Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon.
Yep, ugly Matt Damon.
And they're a very unlikely pair. She's super popular and he is not. Anywho, so gosh, I'm trying to think how this even happens. So she's alone one night at a restaurant and she's leaving, and the stalker guy like kind of follows her to her car and starts to attack her, and he's gonna sexually assault her, and then Landry pulls up.
Yeah, Landry pulls him off, and then he starts walking away.
The guy
and Landry's like seeing red because he's so furious about what just happened.
mad.
So he grabs
a rock and he hits him.
Was it a rock or was it a pole? Or like a piece
of
metal?
Oh, it might have been
like a baton type of thing. Boom, right
like
to the
a
head.
pipe, and
Yep.
he kills him. Kills him.
And then they have to hide the body, and then there's stuff like that's
take
happening.
the body in its car and they dump it down the wall. It
gets weird.
Like,
yeah, the whole time you just think like, what? And then as season 2 continues, you're getting interested in everybody's storyline besides theirs. As they're like, what are we gonna do about this body? You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just
Days of Our Lives take a back seat. We're watching Friday Night Lights. Right now.
I want to know if we're gonna win the game on Friday. I don't want to be drawn into this.
Yep.
If the cops are on our tail. Yes.
The pilot
So
episode,
funny.
that pilot is known as one of the worst season openers of all time.
Is that a season opener?
That was the season 2 opener.
No,
That was
really?
how the episode ends.
That set it all up.
And the writers have said we were feeling major pressure by the studios, kind of like the sex scene that was supposed to happen also in that same opener.
Gosh, just
that was
let
happening
them,
in the same
let
episode.
them do their thing. It's working.
Yep.
What you did
Well,
worked.
It wasn't getting a huge audience.
Oh.
It was really
it's not
people
working.
were loving it. It had this fanatic fan base, but it wasn't getting a huge
the
audience.
masses.
And so they were like, we got to do this crazy stuff. So the writers are feeling all this pressure.
Oh, no.
But then after this misstep, so Peter Berg brought in and the original writers, they came back in after this season opener because it was like everybody was like, oh my god, this is going horribly.
What happened?
And they tried to overcorrect. They're like, okay, we got to figure out how to navigate our way through this. And so that's what season 2 is, just trying to navigate out of this horrible missteps they took in the first episode.
I feel it. I feel every misstep
Yep.
in that season.
Yeah, and then it ends shortly. It ends too short because of the writers' strike, and then they're like,
sure.
"Hey, by the way, season 3, here's what happened at the the end. Yep. And so they just kind of fill you in. But so after the second season, the show's about to get canceled. It does a lot worse than the first season.
Sure.
DirecTV and NBC, though, they decide they're going to make a pairing. And Tom Arnold actually is somehow involved in like pairing these two entities up with each other. And they sit down and have dinner and like figure out we're going to work together to do this. And one of the main reasons why is because fans started to send NBC an insane amount of light bulbs, like the Friday Night Lights thing.
Cool.
And they also sent them
That's so cool.
clear eyes. Why would they send them clear eyes,
Oh,
Rach?
because of my favorite quote from the movie.
From the TV show.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the movie.
I'm so used to saying movie.
They say
from the
something
TV show.
stupid. I don't even remember what it is. It's not near as clever. It's dumb.
Dumb.
Can you live in that moment as best you can with clear eyes and love in your heart?
Well, without further ado, clear eyes,
Full hearts.
can't lose.
Can't lose.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Can't lose.
Let's hear it, gentlemen. Clear eyes, full hearts.
Let's go play some football. Let's go,
It's the best.
You guys see it in context. I ruined it.
So they send them clear eyes to the studio, clear eyes and light bulbs. And they also make these Friday Night Lights footballs. They say Friday Night Lights. And they start like having these 20,000 footballs like circulated at games and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And so they're trying to drum up interest, the fan base says,
Love
to
it.
save the show. And so they end up saving it, ends up continuing on, and we all know what happens. It is awesome. 3 through 5, amazing.
Yeah, real good.
Yep.
Yes, the town. There's more town drama. I won't get too far into it, but yeah, we have another school that comes around, and that just is fascinating.
For sure.
A lot of it is a little too close to home, I would say, as far as like
The haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, well, and when you have a town, I think it's the mentality of a town with one high school versus now when you have a town with multiple high schools.
Yep.
And when it changes to that to me feels a lot like, oh, now this feels like where we grew up. This feels like Sioux City. Now it's like competition between where the boundary lines are, who goes where, all open enrollment,
Who
all
gets
of
the
that
money.
stuff, all that drama. So that was fascinating to me, but I could also see why people will watch that and be like my parents, for example, I would think they would like a lot of this show, but they wouldn't like that because that part is a little too close to home and they would get a little heated, I think, watching it.
Sure. Yeah.
Because he would be like, I'm not watching a TV show about what I had to live through when you went to high school.
So let's talk some more about some of the actors.
Okay.
So Saracen, surprisingly, is not his like introverted. He's very like in the show. He's kind of a little bit of a romantic, but he's very introverted at the same time. He doesn't always talk. He doesn't speak up for himself.
Yeah, he's kind of more quiet or soft-spoken, I would say.
He was the most extroverted person in the cast.
What?
People talk about him like he is crazy talkative. You can't shut him up.
Serious?
Yeah. And Landry and him, so Landry and his scenes, people, those were their favorite scenes to film because they're like, those two were really funny.
Sure.
But surprisingly, Landry is the introvert and was more the like introspective one.
Yeah,
And
okay.
Saracen is like the crazy one out of the two, which you would never expect off of their
that's
characters.
opposite of their characters.
Yep.
Oh.
And so Zach
Fascinating.
Guilford, who plays Matt Saracen, he would make fun of Landry all the time. And like that was his big gag, was just like ripping on Landry all the time. And so they would have to cut like significant parts of scenes because Zach Guilford would just throw in this really funny quip and totally just tear down Landry. They'd be like, no, you can't do that. It's not part of your character. Doesn't make sense. So he has to just take it. But yeah, he's supposedly like a super funny dude. And he gets really, really close to Kyle Chandler. Those two start partying with each other.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I guess they're of age.
Yeah.
It's so weird when you're playing
was
a high
25
schooler and a
when he
coach,
did the
though,
show.
right? Doesn't
Yeah.
that feel like a
Yep.
little weird? Like, I know I play your TV dad, but let's go have a beer, son.
Yeah. But Saracen has this weird, Zach Guilford has this weird vision of his life, and he doesn't see how he was relatable at all with Saracen. He's like, Saracen's so boring. He's so like introspective. Like, if you want people to like you, you need to be like funny and charming and cool and like really awesome to hang around with, like how
Sure.
he is in real life.
Yeah.
So you just never really understood his character, which I think is kind of fascinating.
That is really fascinating because he does it so well. I'm shocked by this, and that is good acting, I would say. Wow.
Now, Landry became really close with somebody else, though.
Okay.
Him and Zach Gilford, they were friends, but not super tight. He got really close with Jason Street.
Oh.
Those two are so close, in fact,
Okay.
that they didn't have one scene together the entire show.
They don't really.
There is one point
Ever?
he comes to a concert, one of his Crucifixoria concerts that Landry has a stupid metal band that he sings in.
Yeah. Yeah.
He comes to one of those concerts, but besides that, they had no on-screen time together.
Sure.
But those two get so tight that even to this day, they are neighbors.
Are you serious?
Yep, they hang out all the time.
I love that.
Some of the best friends. Yep.
That's so great. And it's so funny too because you think because they're kind of in like different circles a little bit. Like Streep is definitely like the first kind of like generation, like the, top tier.
Yep.
And Landry is like he's like a kicker.
Yeah, for sure.
Like third string kicker.
Yep.
So I think that's really fun that like off camera, like people like just because that's your character doesn't mean that that's who you have to hang out with on set or who you have to be friends with. You can be friends with anybody.
For sure.
It's fun.
Yep. Another person that Street got really, really close with. Street got close with Riggins, which isn't surprising. They're supposed to be best friends in the show.
I would imagine.
In the last season that Street is in, they go to New York, and Street's going to stay in New York, right?
Yep.
And there's that scene with Riggins where he's about ready to get into the cab. I don't know if you remember this scene.
Okay.
They're on the streets of New York. It was such an emotional scene for both of them to do because they had become such great friends, and they knew that this was kind of the end for them together. And they both could not stop bawling during the scene. They just kept crying, and the scene was only supposed to be like a 1 minute scene, so it should have been really easy to get through. They had to pause for over a half an hour while the two just like cried and just bawled while they were getting ready to go. And it started with Riggins. Taylor Kish was the first one to break. He was trying to do his lines, and he just kept breaking. And then Street started breaking then. And they were supposed to have in the scene, there's supposed to be one last Texas Forever. And Riggins couldn't do it. He starts to like choke up, and he can't get it out. And then he just walked into the cab and just sat in the cab, and then the cab drove off. And they're like, "Let's keep it. Like, let's not do it. Yep, it's not worth doing it again just so to have him say Texas Forever."
Yeah.
But he was like, "I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't say it."
Pretty
special.
I know.
That's some of the beautiful things that were happening behind the scenes in the show.
Part of me is like, I mean, you can't be sobbing uncontrollably, but boy, I would love to see some of that footage.
Yeah, sure.
I think because these are like kind of your two like macho characters, and it's like how great to see just like their friendship, and then they love each other, and they're crying in the middle of New York City. Oh.
A lot of the responses about like the backstage stuff was a lot of the cast members just talking about how special the show was and about how just the way the producers approached it and the way they filmed it just being one of the best experiences of their lives. You hear things about other shows like The OC. We talked about this. Like The OC, the teenagers, like the teen characters, they talked about how they hated doing that show. It was just like a ton of pressure. They didn't really have a lot of fun doing it, even though they do such a great job in that show.
Oh, that makes you sad.
In Friday Night Lights, though, it is the opposite. Like they had such a great time. It's full of fond memories, friendships that are still lasting to this day. It was a special moment for everybody involved.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how they look back on it, which I think is awesome. It's awesome.
I think as an audience member, I can feel that too.
Yeah.
You'd like to think that you can feel it.
Sure,
Like, you didn't fool me. I know you're friends. Yeah. Oh, that just makes that, all the more special. Because you have, like, you would say, like, there's certain shows that you've been a part of where, you know,
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, where the cast just gets super close, and then you see that on stage. You can just feel the connections, and or I like to think that I can. Maybe I can't always. Maybe sometimes people fool me, and people like really hate each other, but they're besties on stage. But I just that's so great when you have those special moments.
Yeah, I agree. Jason Street wanted to take some memorabilia from this show as well.
Oh, yes.
So whenever you win a state championship on the Friday Night Lights set, they're always really protective of the rings, and they make you give them back right away. But Street was given a ring on a necklace. And they're like, here you go, put this on. And he has the ring that he was wearing around on his necklace in certain scenes.
Uh-huh.
And so he just tucked it into his shirt and he walked off set. So he's the only one who has a ring.
I love
and
that.
certain characters really wanted to keep their ring. Like Michael B. Jordan was like, hey, I want to keep my ring.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you can't have it.
How come?
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know. I think it's...
How to make that more special?
I love to steal props. I steal props all the time.
You are one of those who likes, like, I like to save like a little something
Little
from,
something from the
just
show.
something. Usually you get permission, or usually it's like a little something that no one will miss, like a piece of curtain or whatever. But yeah, just having like a little something to remember.
You got to
it by.
steal something from the set. It's awesome. So the show that was filmed at Pflugerville High, Pflugerville Panthers, right?
Pflugerville.
It wasn't always a welcome sight at Pflugerville.
Oh.
And it was a big distraction for a lot of the students. They didn't like it. They had to cancel their own events because of shooting. They had to cancel their own pep rallies.
Oh.
And they had to like change some things about game preparation. And so the Pflugerville Panthers felt like they were not as prepared for their football season as they should have been because of the Friday Night Lights.
Came in and basically had their senior year for them.
Yeah, for sure. But how cool is it to say that your high school was the Friday Night Lights high school?
Right.
I think that's worth losing every game. I mean, but I'm coming from a program that literally lost every game. So
yeah, that's in Texas. It's different down there.
During the entire run of the show, Kyle Chandler was a volunteer firefighter who did 24 hours a week on top of his shoot schedule in Austin, Texas, or in a suburb.
I love him so much.
So he smokes cigars, Rage, but he's a volunteer
He's
firefighter.
a volunteer firefighter, and he gets nervous during sex scenes. Oh, I love him.
So he's not going anywhere in your top 5, is what you're
No,
saying?
if anything, he's like bumped up to number 3.
Oh my gosh. The Lions, spoiler alert.
Uh-oh.
The Lions and the Panthers.
Yes.
Their fields are actually right next to each other right by the Austin airport.
Oh, really?
So my thing is, next time we go to Austin, we're finding them, babe.
I
We're gonna hit up the Friday Night Lights.
I would really
the
love
Alamo Freeze is a real place.
Oh,
the
really?
that Saracen works at.
Uh-huh.
The barbecue place is a real place.
Yeah?
They're all real places. They just have different names.
Sure.
We're going to every single landmark.
I can support this. If we're going to Austin, let's make a Friday Night Lights like
Extravaganza.
yeah, like a little scavenger hunt, a little like a tour of stars, tour de Austin, Friday Night Lights style. I
Absolutely.
love it.
Your favorite politician? Mitt
Barack
Romney.
Obama.
Mitt Romney used
Oh yes, old Mitt. What
clear
about him?
eyes, full hearts, can't lose
When did he use that?
for his campaign against your boy Obams.
No.
Our boy Obams.
I can't believe he used that.
He used it.
Why does he get to use that?
No, but then listen to this. Peter Berg sent him he said,
Cease-
you need to stop or I'm sending a cease and desist.
For
You are
sure.
not allowed to use our slogan for your
No.
campaign.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Even though Mitt Romney is pretty cool how he stands up to Trump.
Well,
We have to admit that.
Well, now,
Yeah.
but not then.
Yeah, for sure.
Not then.
Yep. So he tried to use that
Who
for
does he
his little
think he
campaign.
is? Is he from Texas?
I don't think so. He's from Utah, isn't he? Mormon?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Crazy.
There have been calls for a spin-off movie from the TV show.
Oh.
You know how like Arrested Development, I think, did a movie on top of stuff, and there's little other shows that try to do like movies and things. There have been a lot of calls for that. Taylor Kish says, I will not be a part of a movie. This show was such a monumental part of my life and ended absolutely perfectly. He goes, I have no desire to ruin that. He goes, the show is perfect. I don't want to do it.
I don't disagree with him.
I don't
As
either.
much as like I love and want more of the content, like I think then you just go back and you watch deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Like that's all you can do.
Yeah, go
all you
rewatch
can
the
do.
show again if you
Yeah.
feel like you didn't
Watch
get enough.
it again.
Watch it again. It's a long time. It'll take you a while.
Yeah, it did. It took us all. I don't know how long.
Almost all year.
When did we start watching
We started
this?
it.
We started in the fall.
We started in the fall.
Football time.
Yep. This was a show I had to convince Rach to watch.
Well, yeah, you did.
Yep.
Not as hard as like you have to convince me to watch Lost, but this
Yep, that's
one
my
is-
new one.
I was like, I'll watch Friday Night Lights, but I don't know about Lost.
And do you regret your time at all?
no.
And in fact, I think after episode 1, you're like, this is cool. I was like, yeah, I gotcha.
It does a great job. So, yeah, for those of you, again, if you're listening now, I don't know why you're still listening if you haven't watched it. You should have stopped. But
You
if
are
you're
a
like,
fool.
no, I'm never going to watch this show, I would say give it a shot. It's not And you don't have to know a ton about football to appreciate it. The storytelling is great. The relationships are great. They really, I don't know if they dumb it down for you, but like as far as football goes, you'll be fine.
Yep.
You will be just fine.
Yeah. It's like I don't really like watching boxing, but I like watching the Creed movies.
Yeah.
So like you don't have to know about the sport.
Yeah, and some things go over my head. Like
Yep.
students will get yelled at, like, "Why'd you do this, this, and this?" Like, I don't know what he's talking about, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
He's getting
ruin
yelled
the
at.
story.
You know that he's
He
like
messed
taking
up.
it
He
in.
should have known.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to all of you on the fence out there, please just give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good.
Just at least watch the first season, because the first season in itself, as in its totality, is like a great season of something that then if you decide to stop, it's like it's a good stopping point. Go ahead, stop. That's fine. You watched a great season of television. Congratulations. You should be proud of yourself.
You're welcome.
When this show ended, the very last episode, season 5, the cast and crew immediately went out to the practice football fields and they played a game of two-hand touch.
No.
Perfect
What
ending.
did everyone do that doesn't play football in this?
I think
Like,
everybody
what
was
all the
just kind of
girls
playing.
do?
I think they all played.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It wasn't
Love
like
it.
a super competitive
Yeah,
game, I don't think.
okay.
I think it was just a fun thing, you know. Let's go
really
play
sweet.
two-hand touch now. Let's play a game.
It's really sweet.
Yep. All right.
I would love to see footage of that. I would cry.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Let's get it spoiler. We don't have to be spoiler free.
Okay.
Spoiler laden responses
Love
in
it.
this moment.
Okay.
What's your favorite part of Friday Night Lights?
Okay, so one part that just came up right away
Mm-hmm.
to my brain when you said that. There is a moment, I think it's season 4. I'm trying to think of what all happened. So Michael B. Jordan has just essentially he's kind of involved with some gang stuff, and he gets himself out of it, but he ends up seeing one of his really good friends shot.
Yep.
And he doesn't really know what to do at this point, so he's upset and he's bawling and he's crying and he's running home, and then like kind of his love interest at the time is waiting for him there, and this great song that I love by Dan Ackman. Is that
Don
his-
Auerbach?
Yeah.
Bach?
Has When the Night Comes. I love the song, and it plays, and there's other things happening
Yeah, Riggins
too.
goes to jail and stuff
Riggins
at
goes
that
to
point.
jail,
Yep.
that's
it's
happening
the last.
too.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There's probably something with Coach happening there. It's a beautiful moment, and the music just like really just drives it home. I open mouth sobbing. So
Yeah, for sure.
That comes
For
to
sure.
mind immediately. That was a big moment for me. I was like, oh, I love this show so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
The last moment of season 5
Yeah.
between Michael B. and Kyle Chandler when. Oh, God, I'm getting misty.
It's okay. Take a
When
breath.
Michael B. when Kyle Chandler says, "You'll never know how proud of you I am," and then Michael B. goes, "You changed my life, Coach." Oh God, I'm sorry.
You may never know how proud I am of you. Changed my life, Coach.
And you just have seen these two characters go through so much together. And Kyle Chandler took a chance, and he never gave up on Michael B. And Michael B. was able to turn his life around, and he was able to navigate everything and to become this awesome human being. And they grew together, and they have this like father-son, but also like mentor-mentee
more like
relationship.
mentor, I would
Yeah, which is even almost more special because being a teacher,
Yeah.
that's my dream, right? It's not to be a father figure to
Yeah.
all these students. That because you can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be a father has to love you unconditionally. I can't, as a teacher, love you unconditionally. I have to make you better. We have a special relationship that's different than a father-son. Mentor-mentee. And it's something so beautiful and special. And I just thought like it was beautiful. It was so gorgeous.
It is a really lovely moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many though. Like Kyle Chandler will make you cry multiple times. Connie Britton will make you cry multiple times. Some of the stuff that happens with the kids will too. It's just
Yeah.
it's
I think
dynamic.
Of
It's beautiful.
their fights and just like the smile or like the squinty-eyed smile that Kyle Chandler will give Connie.
Yep.
or like when he gets upset with someone and he starts
Yeah,
to
when he
laugh.
gets mad,
like,
and he does this
Like,
laugh
it's
thing.
just-
Oh, it's wonderful.
I love it. I
Yep.
love it.
Yep. It's so great. Acting. Let's
Top
talk about-
notch.
Top notch.
grades.
Top marks all around.
All around.
Would you say anybody's a weak link?
I think there's a character that I just like. I get annoyed with sometimes. That's
Sure.
the character. There's a character called Becky.
Yeah,
I don't know.
in
Sometimes
season 4,
she
season
just,
5.
she cries a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, she's got a lot to cry about, but I don't know.
She gets annoying.
She gets annoying sometimes.
Yep.
I'm a little over it.
Yep. Lila does that for me too in the
Sure.
earlier seasons.
Mhm.
Lila doesn't always pull at my heartstrings. Sometimes I get annoyed with her and I think
Sure.
like you're too whiny or too dramatic of an
Mhm.
actress
Mhm.
that it starts to annoy me a
Yeah.
little bit.
Julie Taylor would be one for me. too.
Sure.
Yeah. She gets annoying sometimes. Again, with like just the whininess. But
Mhm.
a part of that is also high school angst,
Yeah.
which is a thing, you guys.
Sure.
I
Yep.
don't know if you remember, but we were all so angsty.
We were.
For
We were
no
very
reason.
angsty. All right, I want you to pick one adult character and one teenage character.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite character all around. You can only pick one.
Okay. Oof. Okay. So one adult.
One adult.
My adult is Kyle Chandler.
Okay, mine too.
My teen,
Yeah.
I think it's Michael B.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
close for me.
Mm-hmm. Who's your other one? Who's
Oh,
close for you?
Saracen.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
feel like there's something about Saracen that I
Mhm.
can't get over. Like, he's so charming. And then, like, in season 3, he gets his vindication, too, like,
Mhm.
after some things. And,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know. There's just things
I could see
about
that.
Saracen that I really enjoy.
I think he's awesome. And best overall, I'll just give it to Kyle Chandler because I was just always just mesmerized, and
Yeah.
not even just from a look standpoint. I know it's an easy thing.
He's
just 'cause
tremendous.
but he's just an excellent
Top-notch
actor,
actor.
and I'm always just on the edge of my seat, like, what's gonna happen in this scene?
Mhm.
It's fascinating.
Yep.
Sucks me right in.
Definitely.
Who'd be
Definitely.
your number one?
Kyle Chandler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Easy style. He's
Easy.
so good. He's
Mhm.
so good. He's incredible.
Mhm.
He's incredible. I want to play a game.
Another
called-
game?
I have a lot of games.
So many games
Yep.
tonight.
I want to play a game called Hot Duels. In this game,
hot duels. I love hot duels.
in this game, it's all about attraction. It has
Okay.
nothing to do with anything besides looks.
Oh, okay.
And
This or that.
we present to each other
Okay.
two people that are step into the ring for a hot duel, and then we claim the winner.
Okay.
All right, so I will start you off.
Okay, please.
Tim Riggins versus Jason Street.
Because of later seasons and who Tim grows to be, I'll say Tim Riggins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's arguably much hotter than him. Most people would be like, you're crazy. But, like, I like the character of Jason Street to start. But,
Sure.
yeah, I think, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Me for you?
Yep, go ahead. Or if
Okay.
you want me to keep shooting them out too, I can.
Let me give you one. Let's do the age-old debate. Lila, cheerleader, or Tyra,
Tyra.
meth head.
Adrian Palicki is so hot. She's incredibly hot.
I know. That was
She
gonna be
actually
easy for
got
you.
engaged to a guy who was on that, oh gosh, what's that space show with it's on TBS. It's got Family Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Nope,
I won't know it.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, kind of like a comedy.
Yeah,
kind of
she
a
got
spoof
engaged
of...
to one of her co-actors who is seriously 3 or 4 inches shorter than her, and he's like a little tubby. He kind of looks like Louis C.K.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the guy she ended up with.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So
There you go.
that's awesome. But no, for sure, Tyra, easy
Yeah,
style.
Tyra.
Saracen versus Street.
Saracen.
Okay.
Yeah, Saracen.
Buddy Garrity versus Landry.
Landry.
Okay.
Buddy. Ooh, how about Connie versus Tyra?
Connie.
Connie.
Connie is so
Connie
hot.
tops.
Connie is tops.
Connie's tops.
Connie is tops. Yep.
I hear it.
What about? Did I do Saracen versus Street?
Yeah, you just did.
And you said.
Saracen.
And okay, Saracen versus Riggins.
Riggins.
Oh, Riggins.
Oh, wait. I was thinking I got mixed up. I thought you were saying Street versus Riggins, the first one. Okay, Saracen versus Riggins?
Yeah.
If you would have asked me season 1, I would have said Saracen.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
If you would have asked me season 2, I would have said Saracen? And then from then on, I was like, okay, I like Riggins.
I'm a Riggins
I'm
girl.
a Riggins girl. Oh,
Yeah,
such
you want a
stereotype.
Riggins girl.
He's so attractive.
Okay.
His hair is so long and like kind of like gross and greasy, but I kind of get over it after a while. Like, that's fine.
Michael B versus Riggins.
Michael B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael B versus Kyle Chandler.
No. Kyle Chandler.
Okay.
He's on another level. Again, people would think I was crazy, but yeah. I think that's how it would go. I would go Chandler, Michael B. Riggins.
What about the guy who plays Luke? Luke versus Riggins.
Oh no, Luke is like
He's such a sweetie.
Luke is like on the level of like Street, I would say.
Oh,
Jason
okay.
Street. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I think I did most of the girls. I'll throw Julie Taylor in there. She's cute.
Julie's cute.
She's annoying, but she's cute.
Yeah,
Where
Julie's...
does she go with Lila?
Oh, Julie.
Julie.
Over Lila.
Okay, so yours goes Connie, Tyra, Julie, Lila,
Yep.
Becky.
No, Becky's cute. I think Becky's cuter than
Lila?
Lila.
No.
Yeah,
oh,
I
you're
do.
wrong. You were wrong. No.
Yeah, I
Becky's
think
got like
Becky's annoying, but she's
got
cute.
like doll hair. She's got this like curly
She
little
does have
lock.
doll
She's just
hair.
like she's gonna always look like she's 12.
That's true.
Yeah. Think about that. Lila.
Yeah.
No, Lila's way hotter.
Lila has a.
She's got a banging bod.
She's
Is
got
that
a
what you're
pointy
saying?
chin.
Oh man.
She does.
I have a pointy chin.
Yeah, but yours is cute.
I don't know what to tell you.
She's got a pointy chin with like dimples in the middle of it, which is kind of interesting. I can't get over it.
you're
But Lila's
crazy.
hot though. They're all hot.
All right.
Okay, very fun. Now,
Very fun game.
I want to talk about favorite shows of all time.
Oof. Okay. This is one of them. I'm not going to be able to rank them,
Okay?
but this is, easily top 5.
Okay.
This is a fantastic show, so thank you for showing it to me.
Yeah.
Other ones that stick out are this is so different than a lot of shows I watch. So like Office, Parks and Rec, those are tops
Yeah.
for me. I love those shows. This is kind of like an OC. I love an OC.
Uh-huh.
And then I like my British shows. I like The Crown. I like
Crown,
Downton
yeah.
Abbey. Some of those are my
Downton
faves.
Abbey's fun.
Game of Thrones was dragged out for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Mad Men. I don't know. These all sound like really cliche answers. When I think about like what shows I love now, like I love Big Little Lies. I love Dead to Me. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
But this one is a little bit different than all those others. So kudos.
I've been doing a lot of soul searching.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So,
I don't know.
because you mentioned Parks and Rec,
Mhm.
I think is my favorite comedic show of all time.
Just
Over
lovely.
The Office for me.
Mm-hmm.
Parks and Rec,
Wow.
Stranger Things,
Oh, yeah.
The OC,
Mm-hmm.
Lost,
Mm-hmm.
and Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Those are, I think, my top 5.
Yeah.
And then, I'd put like Dragon Ball Z and Full Metal Alchemist. Animes are fun too. But those, I think, are my top 5. And out of those shows, the ones that I would like want to watch again,
Mm-hmm.
I think the OC season 1 and Friday Night Lights season 1 are the 2 best like seasons of TV.
Like a standalone
Yep,
season.
standalone seasons of TV. But I think Friday Night Lights is my favorite show of all time.
Mm. It's so solid as a show. It barely trips up.
Yeah.
And I think we can think of many shows who have had several seasons of trip ups and just end on a weird note. You're like, God,
Yep.
that season was awful.
For sure.
But this ends just as strong as it starts, which I think is so rare for a show.
Yep.
Because people don't know when to stop.
They
I
don't.
think sometimes they keep going and going, and you're like, "What season are we on? Why?" And we just have to get crazier and crazier. Like I kind of feel that way about Grey's Anatomy.
Sure.
And others are like that too. But at some point, like let's just tell a good story. And if it's only 3 seasons,
That's okay.
fine. If it's only 8 episodes for a limited series, awesome. Stop there.
Yep.
Like I feel that way about like a lot of like Big Little Lies. I love season 1. I thought season 2 was good, but I'm getting to a point where like stop telling the story.
Yeah.
It was so good. Stop it while you're ahead. Just give me a different content.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, top 5 for both of us.
Yeah.
Probably my top.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. I'll say it's probably top 3. I don't know where it's at. I'll have to do some soul searching. But
Okay.
it's very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Loved it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, there it was. It's a long one, but it's a long show.
It's you guys. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with us that we got through it because this is crazy long.
Yeah,
We covered 5 seasons.
Is there anything else that you would like to discuss, like with the show or anything,
Um.
before we sign off?
No, I think we got everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Just I didn't know that I could think differently about a state so quickly
Yeah,
as
I know,
did
right?
watching this show. You know, like just even things like they do in the South, like when they put ma'am on the end of everything or sirs. Like when I just love clips of them and when they're arguing, they sound so polite.
For sure.
But it's
Yep.
just like I don't know. That's just my one last random thought.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great show. So if you have time, which I think you might, maybe you should check it out.
So are we going to get you on to Lost? Next year, a year from now, you're going to be doing this about Lost.
Yeah, I gotta start Lost. Now, to be fair, Ty said I only have to watch season 1 to start,
Yep.
and then if I want to keep going, I can. So
For sure.
I thought that was very gracious of you.
Yeah.
That's probably, is that
I
the last?
am very gracious. Thank you.
Benevolent. I mean, for shows that you want me to watch, is that kind of like the next biggest one?
That's it.
Anything after that?
Well, if
you're
Stranger
like-
Things comes out with season 4.
Well, okay, shows that you don't think that I would watch with you anyways.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I'll
for
watch
sure.
Stranger
You
Things
got to
with
remember, I don't watch a lot of shows.
Yeah. So you don't have anything else that you're like, oh, right, you got to watch this show.
I
Nope.
don't.
Okay.
Yep. This
Wow.
is it. This
Boy,
is it.
I feel like I
The
could
John Adams
never-
miniseries is really good.
The John Adams miniseries?
Yeah, with
I never heard of that.
with
Is the name of it John Adams?
Yeah, it's on HBO.
Oh.
It's gosh, what's his name? Lady in the Water.
M. Night Shyamalan.
No, but it is M. Night. Yeah, but it was the actor.
I never saw that
Oh
movie.
gosh, I can't believe I blanked on it.
It's okay.
Okay.
You can let it go. I forgive
Let
you.
it go, Indy. Let it go.
I feel like I can just never think of enough shows for you to watch. I'm
Yeah,
always like,
you have.
Ty, watch this show
That's
next.
because that's all you do is sit around watching TV all the time.
Whoa. Whoa. I cannot believe you just blasted me like that. You threw
Put you on
shade.
blast, girl.
Whoa. I mean, I don't even know how to counter that. I feel attacked.
You were
it's
attacked.
Not that it's
That's good. You got it.
It's not that that's not valid, but whoa. That was heated.
Well, we're going to take a few weeks. We're going to come back at it with summers off, back to the original format where we're introducing new shows for each other.
New movies to each
New
other.
movies.
Yep.
Yep. Do you want me to do the first one?
I mean, probably.
Okay.
I
I'll
don't
do
know.
the first one. I'm ready to announce it.
Oh, okay. Love it.
The first movie of our season will be Get Excited, Get Jonesed. You probably haven't seen it in a long time or never seen it at all. So you have some homework to do, everybody.
Okay.
It's time to whip out Starship Troopers.
What a fun season.
It's going to be
opener.
wild.
So random.
Random movie.
I love how we went from like all these like really well-known movies for our quarantine edition, and then we're like Starship Troopers starting it off.
It's awesome. Just a blast of a movie.
Oh my gosh.
Get pumped.
Oh yes, enjoy the break. Obviously, if you missed some content in the meantime, please go back and catch yourself up.
Yep.
We've got 2 seasons to choose from.
For sure. Rate and review.
Yeah.
You can take part in the fun Facebook shenanigans.
Yes, we started a Facebook page. You can just search for it by searching Summers Off,
Yep.
I think. And we're posting different pictures that have to do with our episodes that we're doing. So yeah, join that if you want. You don't have to. It's no big. It's more for us than anything.
Maybe if you have seen Friday Night Lights, maybe go on there and post who you think is the hottest out of
Ooh.
all the Friday Night Lights cast members.
Team
hotness.
Team Riggins, Team Coach, whoever. Yeah, Team Coach.
Awesome. All right, guys. See you in a
Yay.
few.
It's been fun. See ya.
Here's to God and football. And 10 years from now, Street, good friends living large in Texas. Texas forever, Street.
Texas forever.
Yo, everybody, listen up. Let's do it. Let's touch God this time, boys. Let's touch God.